They think he stinks. But they are – Tiki's not a new analyst, but newer to TV because he only did some select games. He did a lot of games every week for Compass Media Networks for like the last 6-7 years. Matt Ryan's right off the field, so I don't know. Maybe ease them both in.
And I heard this week the game, it's bad Tiki, though, actually, Jerry.
He's going to do the game?
He's going to be very aggressive and mean. I heard bad Tiki yesterday, that bit that they do, Jerry.
Yes, I believe in the they started off by saying it's the only part of the station that gets ratings.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It was, I will say it was more mean-spirited, which I liked better than the first week.
Okay.
It was
meaner. You weren't a fan the first week of it.
I thought it was a little corny.
Yeah.
But it was meaner this time, which I liked.
Okay, so Bad Tiki's a star in your mind.
He's getting there.
Okay.
I saw that article about how they're trying to make Bad Tiki the #1 star of WFAN.
So that you're now in.
Yeah.
You're his biggest fan.
I do enjoy Bad Tiki. This one yesterday.
All right, fair enough.
Because it was mean.
WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan and the CBS Sports Network.
And we're coming to you live from Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan, simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app, good Friday morning, a feel-good football Friday. What will we get on Sunday? The Giants and the Dolphins. The biggest spread on the board this week. The Giants, the biggest underdog in the league with how poorly they have played. That is no surprise. Going up against this Miami Dolphins team that for much of the season has been right up there as the talk of the league. And, of course, the Jets and Broncos, a game that was talked about during Hard Knocks, during the preseason, where the Sean Payton, Nate Hackett thing was going to drive the conversation. Well, we've forgotten about that. And now it's all about Russell Wilson, how he's going to play. Of course, Zach Wilson, how he is going to play. Can the Jets somehow get back into this conversation for a wild card and Zach build off of that Chiefs performance? And, of course, the Mets are not done with their awkward, weird, silly offseason as Billy Epler yesterday resigns amid controversy. It's going to be a good one today. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, G. And yes, the Mets are a cleaning house, as they say. And Billy Epler is also being investigated by MLB for improperly using the injured list. Whatever he did there, I have no idea and really don't care. All I know is that David Stearns now has a clean slate. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He's not going to be impeded by anybody. And usually that's what happens when somebody new from outside an organization comes in. They're the ones that now all of a sudden start to determine whether or not they want to keep people around. And usually it's not a good idea to do that. Now, if you're a person within an organization that gets elevated into a spot, you may change some things, but for the most part, you may have a working relationship with people that you really like and you want to keep it the way it is. But when you come from out of town and you come from a completely different place.
Do not trust Matt Eberflus because he's a defensive guy. And this offense, even last night, Justin Fields, big night. He looked great, but he only had 283 passing yards, and there were some misses. He had even more opportunities because for some reason the Commanders' secondary didn't show up. So you say that's a great sign last night, but you want to see so much more. It's 5 weeks in. This now the experiment's on. I think everyone was dead on Justin Fields coming in this week. Now the experiment is on. Ooh, now we're going to give him a tryout for 10 games. But if I had to bet on it, I would bet this is not going to work out. I still think
he'll regress. He'll for Fields or for the team.
I think the team is going to be bad.
Yeah.
And Fields, I don't think Fields will regress, but I think if they're a 4-win team, 5-win team, that they're going to be in the draft and they're going to draft somebody.
Okay, but here's the thing. It's one thing if you're going to be in the draft with the first pick or, you're going to get Caleb Williams and it seems like this guy is a slam dunk. When you start getting into, all right, we got the second pick or we got the third pick. Now you're into Zach Wilson territory. Now you're into Mitchell Trubisky territory. Now you're into a place where it might be way more of a gamble and it's like a bird in the hand versus two in the bush type of thing. Like if Fields continues to play well, maybe he's not the problem. You bring in a new coaching staff. You see now with him having a #1 wide receiver, DJ Moore, 3 touchdowns last night. 8 receptions, 230 yards, 141 of those yards were yards after the catch. He was making really big plays. Think about this. DJ Moore so far this year has more yards and more touchdowns than any Bears receiver from all of last season. It's not even November. We're not even at Halloween yet, and he has already surpassed any receiver from last year. So Fields with some legit weapons could be something that's worth just keeping, not taking a risk on someone who's not Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but do you know that you're going to be in the top 5 in a quarterback-heavy draft where you get to get that quarterback with the rookie contract? Fields, here's the big issue with Fields. He's coming up. He's in his 3rd year.
Yep.
You're going to have to pay Fields, and you know that. So, I mean, if Caleb Williams is there, it's done. Because this is a rare opportunity. The Bears hope they're not in the top 5 looking at quarterbacks every year. You know how front offices are. If they sit at number 2, and let's say, for example, North Carolina quarterback Drake May is there, and he's a top prospect, the front office is going to say, well, we have to pay Justin Fields, and we just lost a bunch of games. We're probably going to fire our coach. So what are we doing here? We might as well take a risk. And financially, because you look at the Super Bowl, it's all guys on their rookie contracts. Fields' rookie contract is running out. That's an unfortunate thing with the structure of the rookie cap. I don't know. I just feel the overreaction to a Thursday night win. I do not know why the Commanders were so flat, but you saw the plays. DJ Moore was running wide open. The safeties were headed the wrong direction every play. How could you? The guy had almost 300 yards receiving, or 230.
Yeah.
How can you not cover this man?
I think that now either Jack Del Rio, who is the defensive coordinator for the Commanders, has now taken the Matt Canada torch of the most hated coordinator in the NFL. Or maybe not hated, embattled.
Aren't you excited, though, now that we're talking about this, to see the Bears and the Vikings next week? Does Justin Fields have a 3rd straight great game?
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like you now, Justin Fields.
It's a topic now.
Kind of resurrected. He might have saved his career. And where I might disagree about, yes, if they get the number 2 pick, I just feel like that's not the sure thing that Caleb Williams appears to be. And there's no sure things in the draft. But like you might be better off just picking up the 5th-year option for Fields and playing this thing out. You don't have to automatically give him $100 million guaranteed. You can play it out a little longer, pick up the 5th-year options like $20 million.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to look at the Giants and say, ooh, maybe we don't want to do that.
Yeah, what did we do? Let's hear Justin Fields, shall we, Pete? Grateful to have DJ Moore and a little surprised how open he was.
They left him one-on-one more times than I thought they would tonight. So, when you always have him one-on-one, he's going to win 95% of the time. So, just thankful for him, to be honest. He makes my job way easier. So, he showed up tonight. 8 catches for 230. Like, that's a crazy stat right there.
He's right. And you would hope for the Bears it's just going to be more, weapons. If they do decide to stay with Fields, they have the 2 first-round picks, their own and Carolina's, as you said. Maybe you add Marvin Harrison Jr. to this mix. Maybe you do add another big weapon and you see, hey, this offense is not totally inept. They lost offensive linemen. By the way, how many injuries in that game last night? It was like every other play, somebody was leaving the field for either team. Bears end up losing not just like multiple running backs in that game, but multiple offensive linemen, and they were still able to move the ball on the Commanders.
Yeah, but you look at this team, the Bears, the Vikings next week. What's the first thing you're going to do if you look at the tape from last night? You're going to cover DJ Moore.
Yeah, someone put 2 bodies on this guy.
Yeah, so who else is stepping up? It obviously isn't our guy Chase Claypool.
No, he's going to be a goner.
Yeah, now you're going to see opposing teams say, all right, DJ Moore killed the Commanders and he's had a good season. I'm curious, Justin Fields, you're going to try to make life more difficult for Justin Fields. It's as if the Commanders had never seen any tape on the Bears offense at all.
What were they doing? I mean, they were on a short week. They had just gone to overtime with your Philadelphia Eagles. I think they took the moral victory thing about, first of all, they beat the Eagles last year. It's a division opponent. Then they take your Eagles to overtime last week. And I think it was moral victory. Like, hey, if we can hang with the Eagles, then clearly we're going to smoke the Bears. Like, the Bears are a losing team. They're going to be, mail this in. There's no way that they're going to be hyped for this game. And it was the complete opposite. Commanders came out totally flat, expected the Bears to hand them the game, essentially. And the Bears were inspired.
Well, I mean, the Bears also were desperate to avoid that historic losing streak. They're at 14. They did not want to go down as one of the worst teams worst team in franchise history. So was that a desperation game from the Bears?
Definitely.
Thursday night is such a weird week anyway, but I feel like that game I saw last night was more about emotion than scheme or X's and O's. Basically, the Commanders just had none of it, and the Bears played like a desperate team. That's why I'm having such trouble reading into this and saying, oh, okay, we have our quarterback of the future. I have a lot of friends who are Bears fans.
Yeah.
And someone texted me last night and says, I told you, Justin Fields is the guy. And I actually texted him back. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, a victory lap because of this? So, but I will tell you, it is all of a sudden, it's a different picture. Now we're going to watch Justin Fields a lot more closely because I had already given up on him.
I think most people had 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. And obviously, Bears also playing maybe a bit inspired after the passing of Dick Butkus. I mean, none of these players were even old enough to watch him play or even be anywhere close to alive when he was in his playing career. But maybe you get a little inspiration from that as well. Here's how you know things are really bad if you're the Washington Commanders. Magic Johnson just shreds you on social media. Magic Johnson is obviously one of the limited partners, a part owner of the Commanders. Here was his tweet. Tonight, the Commanders played with no intensity or fire. We didn't compete in the first half, got down 27-3 heading into halftime. It was too big of a hole to climb out of, and that is why we ended up losing 40-20. Facts.
Yeah, I mean, Magic tells it like it is.
As all Magic tweets are. It's like the Associated Press couldn't have written it any better than that.
Yeah, I'm curious. We never really quite understood what Magic's role with the Lakers was. Can Magic get the coach fired in Washington? I know he's a part owner. I don't. If you're the coach
fired when he played for the Lakers.
If you're the coach in Washington, you do not want to see that Magic tweet.
No.
Because that sort of, you can sort of see things starting to unravel for our guy Ron Rivera in Washington.
For sure. I mean, I think Rivera's, quite frankly, been on the hot seat for, well, here's the thing. He probably should have been on the hot seat for quite some time, but everything was so dysfunctional from the ownership standpoint that to fire the coach in the midst of Dan Snyder being ousted / selling the team, like Rivera was the least of your problems when you're going through all that Dan Snyder BS. So now that they are settled with Josh Harris as the new owner, I think you're going to expect some new blood.
The funny thing is the Commanders were in a great spot. I mean, they had the worst team in the league in their house.
Yep.
They win that. They go to 3-2. They have the Falcons next week, then the Giants, the Eagles, and the Patriots. So they had three of the worst teams.
Nice.
This was potentially a playoff team. You said something earlier that I agree with. I think that they took the Bears totally for granted. I think they thought they had that win and they were looking ahead to this playoff run. And now it's all gone in 1 week. That I don't know how you recover from a game like that at home on national TV. To let Justin Fields throw, well, mostly in the first half, but do anything he wants. This is tough. And Rivera, I love Rivera personally. I think this is the beginning of the end for sure.
I mean, you got first-round picks all over that defense. I know that they're young in the secondary, but so are the Bears. I mean, you got first-round picks all along that defensive line. And, you know, Fields felt some pressure in the second half, but he was doing whatever. Like, why aren't these guys better? Why isn't this defense any better?
Well, they've never been healthy. They were finally supposed to be healthy last night, and they sure didn't look it.
855-212-4CBS. If you want to watch the show, something I strongly encourage you to do today, of all days, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. You can hang out in the chat with the Weedos and the coffee drinkers while Jeffrey Howell says says, I want my money back. I don't know if he's going to bail quite yet. Magic has a lot of money. Today of all days might be the good one to check us out on the YouTube stream. Say you're not really a YouTube person, you might want to try it today. Perloff has lost a bet, and today's the day to pay the piper. And that's all of us. Perloff bet me he thought that Joe Burrow was going to take less money than Justin Herbert. That turned out not to be true.
I thought Joe Burrow wanted to win championships, and clearly the way the season's playing out, he does not.
So the bet was you have to eat a bowl of Skyline chili, but with no hands.
Right.
Let that visual sink in.
There's some controversy about whether I need my hands to be handcuffed. I don't know where that came from.
I think it came from you. You were the one who decided handcuffs. We have multiple ponchos now in the studio. They're bright yellow. Thankfully, Pat Boyle producing also brought me a poncho, which I'm excited about. So here's your big yellow poncho that Andrew Kaplan found yesterday. So have fun with that. And then I get a poncho too to make sure I don't get any chili on me if you're messy.
By the way, this is one bowl of chili. I don't know. It's not gonna be like a chili apocalypse in here.
Is it though?
You might get some chili shrapnel.
Yeah, I don't want to get hit with a side, whatever's in Skyline chili. I don't even know.
How aggressively are you going to dunk your face into the bowl, Perloff?
I'm gonna eat chili. I'm just gonna eat it. I'm just gonna go like I'm not like bobbing up and down in it.
Are you going to do the dog reverse tongue, lap it up?
Maybe at the end.
I don't know
Like the
about
bowl
that.
clean.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you got to have a strategy,
Well,
man.
okay, Pat, there's spaghetti in there. So I've been actually thinking about it. That's what I get a hold of.
You're going to slurp?
Well, no, I mean, I need something to bite, so.
By the way, a subtext of this, just a PS, is Perloff's cooking the spaghetti in the microwave. I've never heard of that before.
Well, we don't have an oven. It's pretty simple. Just put water on it, cover it, and for 3 minutes, and your spaghetti's done.
Who knew?
Well, I don't know. That doesn't sound that wild.
This is a short week. You don't want to go in there like the Commanders and underestimate this chili. You can slurp, you can bite, you can munch, you can bob. You've got to figure out what it is that you do. Figure out what you do.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no practice round. I didn't know how to.
There's no preseason with
Yeah, I have no strategy whatsoever because I've never been in this situation.
No one has. That's why you should watch us on YouTube today. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Of course, our incredible CBS Sports Radio affiliates. If you are just listening, you will not get shortchanged on this. We have a highly trained professional play-by-play announcer who is going to be helping us paint the visuals here. A little theater of the mind. So if you can't go to YouTube, don't worry. Just hang with us on the radio, and you're going to get the full experience. There we go. 855-212-4CBS. You're welcome to weigh in on the Bears, on Justin Fields, his future. It's all there for you on this very lovely Friday morning. Coming up, boy, we've got to talk about a certain dynasty that we may have written off a little too soon. Get to that in just moments. Glad to have you on this Friday. Again, 855-212-4CBS. Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie and Perloff Show. In a short 2.5 hours, I will be diving headfirst into a bowl of chili, which sounds great. I love chili. Chili's one of my top 5 favorite foods. Melted cheese, spaghetti, all good. The caveat is I'm not allowed to use hands because I lost a bet, which I don't even know how I lost this bet. I was so sure I was going to win. What is Joe Burrow doing? It was Joe Burrow's average salary per year, higher than Justin Herbert. And you know how it played out? He basically has the same salary as Justin Herbert, but he wanted $400,000 more, so he could say he was the highest paid quarterback. Why does Joe Burrow care about that?
Because they all care about it.
Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He doesn't care about it. He's well below these other guys.
No, he restructured, so now he's just as high. That discount that Mahomes gave him apparently was only for the first couple of years of the contract. Then he saw everyone else getting all this money. He was like, wait a minute.
Tom Brady was never the highest average salary.
I know, Brady's the outlier.
Yeah, I mean, outlier because he has 7 rings, too. So honestly, I'll pay this bet, but I feel bad for Bengals fans because they have a selfish quarterback. And I'm mad at Joe Burrow.
I just love it. You're like, I'm about to dive into this bowl of chili. And normally that's a figure of speech. But for you today, that's what it's going to look like. Head first dive.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little worried my hands are just instinctively going to help me out.
I'll hold it back. We're not letting you use hands today. Before we get to Bogusch and headlines, Big Bears win last night. Big showing from Justin Fields and DJ Moore. Our pal Jay is in Nashville. Jay, what's going on? Good morning.
Okay, as long as I've known Perloff, and every time he loses a show bet, you got these whack consequences that he got to do, like eat peanut butter wool, or he's got to eat a bowl of Skyline chili. Like, what is the big? Come on, man. No, that's not a consequence. Next time he loses a show bet, I'm telling you, I'm proposing 3 things. He either got to eat a bowl of chitlins, he's got to sit there and watch him prepare the chitlins before he eats it so he knows it's real. Like, he's got to watch the dookie get cleaned out of the intestines.
Oh, my God.
And the lady look at him like, Perloff, this is what you're going to be eating with some hot sauce. Either that or some goat anus, or he cannot clean his nose for 2 days straight. And he's got to get live on TV, reach up in that illustrious beak of his, and pick out a long wet daddy and eat a booger live on TV.
Wait a minute, Jay, what are you, some kind of masochist? Have you been sitting around thinking these things up? What are you, some kind?
No. It just hit my head because it's like, wow, he's got to eat chili. Oh my God, God forbid. Like, come on, man. That's not a consequence.
Jay, are you not entertained?
He's got to eat a whole. Next time he's got to eat a whole tub of cotton candy. Like, wow, you know what I mean? Come on, bro.
Right? Do people eat goat anus? I've never heard of that.
No, we gonna make it up for you, Perloff.
Well, how do we acquire said goat anus? Like, you can't buy that at the store.
Go to Jamaica where they love eating goat curry and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Say, hey,
go to
take that
Jamaica.
anus for Perloff.
We don't have to go to Jamaica. We live in New York City. We got little pockets. We got little Kingston. We've got little everything in New York.
Queens. You can go to Jamaica, Queens, and get it.
Jamaica, Queens is it's like Jamaica.
Go to Flatbush.
There you go. Flatbush is more like it, Jay. You know your geography. Wow, Jay, I'm kind of surprised. I thought you'd be down with these.
I'm a man of many things. You already know that. Maggie.
The true Renaissance man.
Whatever.
Jay, thank you for the input. All right, well, bets off. Goat anus it is.
Changing on the fly. I like it.
Let's go.
Be versatile.
Actually, I'm not
Pat, can you get on that, please? We'll need that in an hour.
Sure. I can procure some goat anus.
I am not adverse to unusual foods. Like, I love Anthony Bourdain when he goes overseas and would eat weird things. I'd eat, if there was like a delicacy, goat anus, like I don't know, like it wouldn't be the worst thing. But the way Jay described everything kind of grossed me out.
Well, you think? I mean, you eating your own boogers.
Yeah, that's a good visual on the internet.
That's pretty gross.
Well, I mean, normal. I tell you, so we did these bets forever.
Is it pretty normal?
No.
Not me.
I think we checked the tape. I think Pat just said that's pretty normal. You're a booger eater?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure.
So at Dan Patrick Show, we do these bets all the time. 95% of the calls wanted one thing: shave an eyebrow. Shave an eyebrow. He's got to shave an eyebrow. Listen, Notre Dame didn't cover. Shave an eyebrow. Radio callers want one thing, and that's to have some body part deformed or something.
Yeah. Or tattoo. Yeah. Something like that.
Or dip something in hot sauce. Yeah. I think this is pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good, too. It's going to be a good visual. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio if you want to watch. Andrew Bogusch is here. He's agreed to do play-by-play of this. He's a card-carrying, professional announcer, Fordham basketball and other things. So we get the full treatment here.
Yeah. Andrew, do you think there's going to be enough to actually call here? Enough variation?
I think that's up to you. How much you're going to struggle drowning in the chili. I need some flailing, need some shrapnel.
Yeah.
Need things flying out.
We have something in his eye. He has a shred of cheese in his eye.
Like if you could slam your face into the bowl so there's like an actual kind of explosion of chili, that would be good.
Wait, hold on. One other thing. Sorry. Jay said chitlins, right?
Yes,
which is...
I was going to bring that up.
Small intestine.
Correct.
But Perloff, you're from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Isn't the tripe... cheesesteak, isn't that a thing? It's like the stomach lining, right, of a cow?
Never heard of a tripe cheesesteak. That sounds
I thought that's
Scrapple is a big thing in Philadelphia.
And we don't know what that is, right?
Scrapple is basically like the worst parts of the pig.
The leftover?
Yeah.
It's like a hot dog, but like worse.
Yeah.
Bring back that goat anus.
Tripe, I don't think tripe is a big
Mix
thing.
it with other things.
I don't think tripe is a Philly thing. I think scrapple might be what you're thinking
I
of.
thought that tripe was also a cheese, like a possible cheesesteak.
God.
Tri-tip cheesesteak?
No, I think tripe, guys. Okay, anyway.
Wait, sorry, what is tripe? Is that brains?
I think, no, it's the lining of the stomach.
Yeah, it's heinous looking. I've seen it in soups.
Yeah, it's like, it looks like a webbing.
Yeah.
Heinous anus.
That's the next bet.
I just Googled.
Anus, everybody.
I am seeing a lot of grilled tri-tip cheesesteak. I'm not seeing any grilled tripe cheesesteaks.
Big difference.
If you go up to Pat's or Gino's in Philadelphia and say, I'll have a tripe with whiz, they will look at you like you are crazy. And by the way, anybody who ruins a cheesesteak experience by ordering tripe on their cheesesteak, that is a mistake.
They're going to think you're trying to order drugs like out the back door. Oh, you want the tripe? You want to heat it up?
So Jay did sort of hint at something that is real about the bet. I am doing something that I love. Part of the reason I was excited about this bet is I love chili. So I am diving into something I love, not tripe and not chitlins. So I do understand what you're saying. And then my next bet is eating 4 cheesesteaks in a half an hour.
Well, now if they're heinous anus cheesesteaks, maybe Jay now will be satisfied.
I don't know where you're going to find a tripe cheesesteak.
Well, we're resourceful around here. We've got the internet and several brains we can put together. You can eat brains.
All right. Well, who's up next? What do you want? I'll have goat anus with cheese whiz, please.
You want onions on that? It's really all about the bread, though.
That's what they always say. It's always about the bread.
Well, you have to have enough piece of sturdy bread to soak up the.
Yeah. Everything that's leaking out of you. All right.
Football.
Anyway.
Was Justin Fields right? Whatever he and or the coaches doing differently, it's working, at least for the last 5 days.
Snap, Field stares down the left side. Pass is caught by Moore. Down the sidelines. And nothing but green grass. He is gone, baby. Touchdown. DJ Moore on 3rd and 2. The corner broke on it. Missed it. DJ Moore caught it. And he accentuates what's been a spectacular day. 56-yard touchdown, and that puts the icing on the cake.
That's Jeff Joniak on Bears Radio. The 56-yard connection, the knockout punch after a 27-3 halftime lead was cut to 10 points in the fourth. The Bears win for the first time since last October, 40-20 over the
Commanders
in the D.C. area. Fields back-to-back 4 TD games.
Really just proud of everybody, proud of everybody blocking the outside noise out and really just working. So really a tribute to everyone in the building.
DJ Moore caught 3 of Fields' 4 touchdowns, 8 catches total for him for 230 yards. The Commanders suffer their 3rd loss in a row. They gave the ball away twice, took it away 0 times. Sam Howell was sacked 5 times. This Bear win coming hours after the team announced the passing of the legendary Dick Butkus. The Hall of Famer was 80, passed away in his sleep. Butkus, a 5-time first-team All-Pro selection in his 9 seasons. The NCAA is now letting North Carolina wideout Tez Walker play this season. He should debut tomorrow against Syracuse. Walker's a 2-time transfer, so he needed a waiver to play this season, and that waiver kept being denied, with most of the sport mad about that. The NCAA says UNC submitted new info recently, changing their mind, and they say this would have never been an issue had that info gotten to them sooner.
Have you guys watched, by the way, a North Carolina game and everybody starts chanting Tez Walker, Tez Walker? That the NCAA, Maggie and I talk about this a lot. Like, they have no power anymore. Like, what they were trying to make a last stand against this Tez Walker kid. Like, everybody should play wherever they want to play.
Have you seen the latest thing with the NCAA?
No.
We're going to talk about this a little bit later when we do our daily Deion and we check in with Deion Sanders every day. The NCAA is thinking about. Did you see this story?
I don't
folks?
think so.
They're thinking about going to start this rule that if you are on an unofficial visit to a campus, you cannot take pictures or do a photo shoot with the head coach. This is now going to unofficially be called the Deion Sanders rule, because you had recruits on an unofficial visit who were posing with Deion and like Deion in a Lamborghini or Deion in a bunch of Louis Vuitton luggage, and they're going to try to ban that. I'm like, you guys got nothing better to do than to ban someone taking a picture with Deion Sanders on an unofficial visit.
Well, I'm fascinated with the recruits get $5,000 to take a picture in the team jersey too.
Yeah, they're getting paid by the NIL, by the collective to just take a visit.
Take a visit, and then what they really want is the Instagram post wearing the Florida jersey. The NCAA is probably sitting back and being like, Deion especially, be like, we have totally lost control,
which is
great.
One thing we can do.
No, but see, that's the thing when people say, oh, Deion says he would never go to the NFL, never go to the NFL. It's like, well, look at Jim Harbaugh, who had to sit out the first 4 games or whatever this year. Like, at some point, you don't want to deal with this crap. You might as well just go to the NFL.
Jim Harbaugh desperately tried to go to the NFL last 3 seasons.
Taking every interview possible.
You have to, I think the NFL will want Deion more than they want Harbaugh. Anyway.
Sunday was the last time the Mets had any embarrassment, so yesterday's news was overdue. Billy Epler stepping down as GM, saying new president David Stearns needs a clean slate, even though the plan was always for Epler to stick around. Epler is reportedly under MLB investigation for misusing the injured list, but that shouldn't be enough to force a resignation. So I'm excited to see what actually went down. That changed this.
Yeah, no, this is not the story.
No, not even a little bit. You
don't even have to be anywhere close to the Mets organization or have anything invested to know that there is clearly something else at play here. And the final thing, which involves everyone in the country now, I think Epler had the relationship with Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
And now who's got the relationship with Ohtani? I don't know.
Wait, is Ohtani looking at the Mets?
I mean, they're probably going to make him a crazy huge offer.
Yeah. Somebody, again, the other day said, keep an eye on the Dodgers and the Mets. And I don't know what that means, but there's also that other Japanese pitcher now, that Yamamoto, who is another Epler kind of avenue through Billy to get him to be on the Mets. So now that's all completely off the table.
I mean, without following it too closely, if you're saying keep an eye on the Dodgers and the Mets, you might as well buy a house near Chavez Ravine because he's going to the Dodgers. The Dodgers win all those battles unless the Padres drive up a Brinks truck.
The Lakers begin their preseason tomorrow against the Warriors without LeBron.
6 preseason games, so hopefully I can get to at least half of them. But we'll see. I think every game will dictate. I will not be playing this Saturday's game, that's for sure, in the Bay, but we'll see what happens.
I didn't know this. 39-year-old LeBron is the oldest active player in the NBA as this new season begins.
I saw that last night. He reacted to that. He was really funny. He's like, what?
Wait, who would be older?
I just thought there's usually like some 40. Well, it was Udonis Haslem,
right,
and there's usually somebody like that, like a tall old guy at the end of a bench, just sitting somewhere waiting to maybe play a minute or two.
I want my damn respect too.
Yeah, Vince Carter went to 40, I think.
Yeah,
definitely Jamal Crawford and those 6 men guys last forever.
Yeah.
Did you guys see LeBron last night on the Amazon thing? He's going to be doing the Manning cast on October 12th. So
he does like a second screen.
Yeah, he's going to do it. And he started. They did some promos for it. LeBron. I think LeBron wants a second career as a football analyst. I was watching him on Amazon last night. It feels like all he wants to talk about is NFL right now.
He's making NFL picks every week on his social media, and he's basically out there begging the Kelseys to have him on their podcast.
Yeah, he talked about Kelsey last night on Amazon too, and he's like, my guy Pat Mahomes, and we're going to get Kelsey on the shop. He wants Kelsey desperately on the shop, and it's,
everyone wants that Taylor Swift Kelsey shine right now, and also like LeBron, get off our corner. We're the ones who talk NFL. You know, we're the ones who break it down. We don't need like the maybe best or second best player of all time in the NBA trying to be an NFL analyst.
But I am dying to know who they get at that episode of the shop, the live. They're going to have superstars. Maverick and LeBron had a twinkle in their eye. They're going to be in LA and have 5 people watching the game. Oh, yeah, I'm into it. I think LeBron should do to replace Tony Romo next year.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad at it.
One other basketball thing, the WNBA is expanding, I think, for the first time since 2008. A team's going to the Bay Area run by the Warriors. They'll begin playing in 2025. We should also get a second new team soon, maybe in Portland. Back to you guys.
Adrian Bogusch, thank you so much. Bogusch is going to be doing a little play-by-play of Perloff eating chili later on this afternoon. Jerry is in San Francisco. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
I am well, thank you. I'm desperately trying to get to sleep, but when the topic turned to, well, you never know. When the topic turned to whole animal cookery, I just couldn't resist.
Oh, okay, great.
So you were discussing, actually, let me get scrapple out of the way. For those of you who don't know, that the traditional meat in scrapple is from the pig's head.
Ah, okay.
Oh, God.
Okay. You know, cheek, jowls, brains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, are you serious?
What end is better,
I'm
head or
deadly
tail?
serious.
Yeah.
I'm deadly serious, and when it's made well, it's delicious.
You know, it's a big deal in Pennsylvania, scrapple, and I would never touch it.
Okay. Well,
what do you mean? Sorry, side note, what is Spam?
Oh, the Spam is a bunch of ground meat.
Oh, gross.
I've heard that's good, but I've never tasted it.
Yeah. Well,
what else you got for us, Jerry? You mentioned something about the goat anus?
Yeah, well, it's the main topic here, yes. Now, I know nothing about goat anus, but I do know something about the anus of another animal. So who of you there enjoys fried calamari?
Yo, me.
Not anymore, I can tell already.
I'm suddenly very nervous.
Well, this is one of those stories about restaurants who label an item as something but are selling you something completely different so they can make more money.
Oh, no.
Are you sure you want to share this with our audience right now?
No, it ain't that bad. It's bad, but it ain't that bad. Maybe it is. So what they will do is instead of calamari rings, yes, you will have processed pig anus.
Oh, no.
Come on.
No.
Jerry, where's the health department on that? That's awful.
Well, it's illegal, of course, to mislabel it. It's not illegal to prepare it, I guess. But the bottom line is, I think people would like the little sea creature when they order it and not pig anus.
Oh, my gosh, Jerry, you got to write a book or something. If you know all these secrets, you got to expose the restaurant industry for the lies they're telling us. Bogusch has not recovered from this.
Like, what kind of quality control do you do when you sit down at a restaurant and you want calamari? How do you know that it's safe?
Well, also, the rings are one thing, but what about the little tentacles? I feel like that's got to be real calamari, right?
I'm reading
his tentacles.
I'm reading this as an urban legend, by the way, that, first of all, I didn't even know it was an urban legend, that calamari is really pig rectum here. There's a lot of stories on this, that it's all fake news.
I don't know.
And I'm going to go with that.
Jerry seemed pretty convincing.
Jerry's a liar.
It sounds like an urban legend.
I mean, I'm not going to stop eating calamari.
I'm thinking about it.
That is true. So far, so good, right? We've all had it. We've all survived it. No one's been bothered by it. You just keep going. Live in ignorance.
Exactly.
Well,
I don't know, guys. I mean, we know now. You can't unknow it. Bogusch, you're a newsman. You can't just all of a sudden ignore.
Stuff it down deep.
Yeah, I'm believing whatever Perloff is looking at right
By
now.
the way, you guys should have made me do something like that for the bet. Eat some weird, like, brains or something.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Next time.
Got a lot riding on this
But
Cowboys
it's a
49ers.
bet. All right, Bilotti, you want to go head-to-head on something? Because I could tell you don't want to eat brains.
I am very strategic. I will find my spot.
You'll pick your spot. I was next to a friend of mine when she ate brains.
Yeah, it's like a big thing in Europe, right?
We were in Morocco, actually.
Yeah.
She ate the brains. We didn't know it was brains. And it really ruined her day, to be honest.
I ate horse once in France. That wasn't fun.
Well, when I kill an animal, the first thing I do is take a bite of its heart. I saw that on my survivalist shows. That's why when you're a hunter, that you take a bite of the heart.
What are you, the Revenant? Jeez.
No, that's what they do on Alone, my favorite show about it surviving in the Alaskan outback.
What a good show.
It's a great... Oh, you're an Alone fan?
I'm catching up.
They always eat the heart. It's actually a sign of a tribute.
Right.
I was going to say, is that just like a taste thing or...
Well, they're very hungry, so they'll eat the entire animal, including the parts that we've been discussing today.
Including the carcass.
Yeah. Start with the anus, end with the anus. I don't know. 855-212-4CBS. Please edit that out of the podcast. Coming up, did we write off Alabama too soon? We've got a big Cowboys 49ers game coming up this weekend. We've got so much to do. Perloff eats the chili later on this show. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Just have to find a different way.
Yeah, that definitely could happen. But I think what I said about quarterbacks taking less is going to happen within 2 weeks. I think you're going to see Joe. We'll know who's right about this. I think Joe Burrow is going to take a pay cut. Yeah,
he's driving to Cincinnati.
Now it's hard to figure out the terms on this because what is less? I mean, these contracts are so complicated.
Let's do a show bet here. If Joe Burrow, you think he's going to take less than Justin Herbert? We have to figure out which metric we're going to use because there's guaranteed at signing, there's practical guarantees,
That's
there's
so hard.
Injury guarantees, average annual value.
I think he's going to take a deal that gives his team more cap flexibility than
That's
Justin
too
Herbert.
nebulous. It's got to be for the bet.
I think AAV, average annual value. I think that's
So Herbert's at 52.5 right now, which is the highest in the
that's
league.
kind of how we look at it. We look at either guaranteed, but guaranteed could be spread across 5 years, 10 years, whatever. So guaranteed is tough to look at also.
You got to be freaking Einstein to take apart
I
these
think just
contracts.
average yearly salary.
Average annual. I will shake on this right now. You want to drive to Cincinnati?
I don't want to drive to Cincinnati on this one. I think we need something a little higher stakes than this.
How about like
I'll eat a bowl of Skyline
By the
chili.
way, these people are killing themselves on these scooters. I don't know why anyone would ride one of these. Anyway, okay, sorry.
So I think that Joe Burrow is going to come under the 52.5. And I think one of the reasons he's going to do it is because he's going to have more than 5 years. But
listen, here's the thing. I kind of want you to eat the Skyline chili. We've done a lot of food challenges around here, but only if you can do it with no hands.
That sounds fun.
Sure. So you'll do it too?
Sure. I mean, we promised we'd stay away from food challenges, and we didn't even make it 2 weeks.
Listen, we need like a big bowl though, because like once you get like halfway down, unless you have like a dog tongue lapping up the bottom of it.
You got to figure it out.
We need like a big bowl to get your whole face in there.
I think you can order that online too. You get frozen Skyline chili delivered.
Delivered from Cincinnati?
I'm almost sure you can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I bet we can. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about that.
Give us a number. Let's set a number today. What's the average?
2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff, new morning show here on CBS Sports Radio. And considering our last conversation about animal parts and what you might actually be eating when you think you're eating fried calamari, I think this, our initiation into morning radio has been complete now.
Yeah, it's getting gross.
It'll be grosser later. That's when Perloff pays off his bet. He's going to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands. If you'd like to watch something like that, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is the place to do it. We get to Alabama and whether we were too quick to write off the dynasty in just a moment. But Frank is in Georgia. Good morning, Frank.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you.
I used to listen to you driving home from work. Now I get to listen to you driving to work.
Oh,
Great.
well, thanks. Thanks for hanging with us. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just want to tell you that the guy who called about the big rectum and calamari, that is totally not true. I spent a number of years working in the seafood industry, seafood processing.
Yeah.
We used real calamari. We supplied a lot of
You don't know how relieved we are to hear you say that, because there was a lot of gut check moments that just happened in the last break.
There goes dinner tonight.
That is totally gross. I've heard that story before myself, but I know for a fact, I've been on the manufacturing floor. I've seen the calamari go through the line, and those, what were being made were going to, like, U.S. Foods and Cisco and those major suppliers for most restaurants.
Frank,
hey, Frank, by the way,
thank you for calling in. And by the way, can we just have your personal number in case we have any other questions about seafood processing? We can text you.
But Frank, isn't calamari kind of a garbage fish anyway? I've used calamari as bait before. It's not exactly the greatest fish in the world either.
No, calamari is squid, and squid eats other squids and other small things. Tilapia is a garbage fish. That stuff eats anything off the bottom of the lake that they're living in. That's not, I will never eat tilapia, but no, calamari is great. I mean, I've used it for bait too, and I've caught some great fish with it. But no, it's good, and if it's done right and cooked well, it should be nice and soft and not rubbery in your mouth.
I love it. All right, so calamari. Thank you, Frank, and thanks for hanging with us and switching with us from afternoons to mornings here. So calamari, we're back on the calamari bandwagon, but tilapia is dead to us.
Can I pull an audible and eat calamari without my hands?
No, we don't have that kind of capability here.
Yeah, I just think it'd be logistically easier for me.
How about a raw calamari?
I probably could do that. I like sushi. I don't know. Yeah. I think the problem with the Skyline chili that I have to eat without my hands is what do I grab onto?
That's a you problem.
Because it's chili, but it's famously like soup. That's what Skyline is known as. It's a bit of a problem here.
I am so glad this is not me. So Perloff's going to do that later on this morning. Meanwhile, you got a big game here with Alabama, Texas A&M. Now, Alabama right now is a 1-point favorite. This is going to be a 3:30 Eastern game. You got a nice little college football Saturday here. You get the Texas Oklahoma's at noon Eastern. Then you go right into Alabama and Texas A&M, and then right into, if you want, Notre Dame and Louisville at night. So you got a couple of really big games here. But let's focus in on Alabama, because after they lost to Texas, there was a lot of obituaries being written and eulogies about the Alabama dynasty. But meanwhile, they have rebounded and played pretty well since that loss, especially on the defensive side. They've played very well, not getting pushed around in the way they were against Texas. And maybe we're too quick to write off Bama.
Maybe, but they have such a hard run coming up. Honestly, here's the thing. Alabama's standards are what? If they're not in the Final Four, that season is a failure. So I think if you say that we're not going to write them off, that means you think they're going to make the Final Four. And I still think it's a long, long road ahead.
Okay, well, the games that are on the road that are going to be difficult for them is really Kentucky. We'll see if they're still ranked by the time they play on November 11th. And then, of course, you got the Iron Bowl with Auburn at the end of the season. I don't think Alabama is I don't think they're a 2-loss team if they get by A&M. Arkansas is tough, but Arkansas is at home. Tennessee's tough, but they get Tennessee at home.
I know they're at home. Well, they lost to Texas at home. So I just think that Tennessee, LSU, Kentucky run is going to be tricky for them because I still don't quite know who they are. They feel like, they like Jalen Milroe now, but why didn't they like him at first? So I'm not totally sure. Has he? He looked fine before. They never should have benched him. That's why I was so mad at Nick Saban in the first place. Okay, go ahead.
They were leaving no doubt, I think. Yeah. But for the new audience who's getting used to us here in the morning, this was a couple weeks ago. Here was Perloff talking about Nick Saban.
Alabama is crap. Nick Saban has lost his fastball.
What?
Nick Saban, by the way, he should retire tomorrow. Tomorrow. He is washed.
They didn't beat South Florida enough for you? By enough?
Tommy Rees, you watch the plays that Alabama is calling when my quarterback, Tyler Buckner, start. It's like, what did you expect to happen? Like, I even as Superman, Shedeur Sanders Brady, could not have done anything with his offense. Alabama was outcoached by South Florida in a 17-3 win. Honestly, I think Alabama's doomed. And I think I was high on the team.
Is this the end of the dynasty?
I think it's the end of the dynasty. I think Saban's lost. Wow. I think, honestly.
You stand by that?
Let's have some real talk here.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's doing a weekly with Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Does that strike anybody as unusual?
It is a little unusual, I guess.
I just think that Nick Saban has a fascination with TV. I just don't know how much I saw him the other day. I saw him yesterday. Maybe it was 2 days ago. He looked great. He was really comfortable with the guys, with A.J. Hawk and Pat McAfee. I don't know.
You think he's eyeing the media?
Well, I think if they don't make the Final Four, so they have to go on a run, which is I think I overreacted. I'm a huge Jalen Milroe fan. I was angry that he got benched, to be honest.
In your feelings?
I was definitely in my feelings there. But I do wonder, one more loss. Even this game, this 1-point spread. If they lose this game and he loses to Jimbo, that's all of a sudden a disaster. That's like a little mini apocalypse in Alabama, right? So
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Things look good right now.
But in the middle of October, that would not be good.
Things look good right now, but you have to be honest. One more loss, and all of a sudden, what I said, I think everybody's going to start saying, because a 2-loss Alabama team this year is not going to make it. There's too many good teams, and there are only 4 playoff teams.
Yeah, but we still have a lot of season left, and a 2-loss Alabama team last year actually had a pretty decent case to make the Final Four.
Right. If you just look at the math, you're going to get an SEC team, probably Georgia. You're going to get at least one Big Ten team. The Pac-12 this year is getting a Final Four team. It's sort of a farewell gift, but they're just so good. And then Texas already beat Alabama. So you have a lot of problems. If you look at the math, they're already getting pinned out of this. 2-loss. And also, they didn't get in last year.
I know, but they had a case. If TCU hadn't had this sort of miracle season, I bet it would have been Alabama.
So that, by the way, you're now making me more interested in this game. It's going to be an ugly game, just like it's been. It's going to be the Jimbo Fisher anger game, 3:30. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Stream the NFL on Westwood One for free, sponsored by AutoZone. All season long, you can listen to every Westwood One broadcast of the NFL live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports, or on the Odyssey app, get in the zone, AutoZone. AutoZone's free battery testing and charging is available for free at your local AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. Don't move. We talk Cowboys 49ers next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
A number. Let's set a number today. What's the average annual salary? 52.5?
Justin Herbert's is 52.5. I think Burrow's going to come in over that, and you think it's going to be under.
Yes, I think Joe Burrow is going to help his team out, and he's going to take under that.
Because you think it's going to be a 6-year deal or 7-year deal.
I think he's going to do a Patrick Mahomes-like deal.
Man, so maybe I don't want to go AAV here. I might want to go practical guarantee.
No, you can't change it now, Maggie.
I kind of want the full guarantee, though. Because that's what's going to hamstring the Bengals, right?
No.
No, because if it's a 10-year deal, the amount of guaranteed isn't necessarily going to hamstring him as much, depending on how long of a deal he gets.
No, I know. If he signs a 10-year deal, his average annual is going to be low. That's the whole point.
Right, but his guaranteed might be high, but it might still be...
I know, so I'm the one who's going to be eating the chili.
Right, that's my point here. I'm hoping that you eat the chili.
I know. That's why maybe I don't want to go average annual. I could go full guarantee.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying he could go a big full guarantee, but if he goes more years, then he's still helping the team. The full guarantee doesn't really even matter.
All right, let me think about this for a second.
Oh, come on, Maggie. It'll be so fun to eat this. And by the way, I might lose. I mean, Joe Burrow's better than Justin Herbert.
Yes, Stu.
I'm shocked Perloff doesn't want to go to Cincinnati. His favorite baseball team is there. Can he drive there and watch the Reds play, watch Ellie De La Cruz?
Thank you, sir.
Actually, I would not mind going to Cincinnati.
What a bad bandwagon fan you are. You don't even want to drive to Cincinnati to see your beloved Reds.
I definitely drive to Cincinnati. I actually once did a fantasy football event in the East Ash, I think is the name of the town. It's a suburb of Cincinnati. I had the best time. People
I love
awesome.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
GW used to play Xavier, and he used to ask to go on that road trip. Loved it.
All right, but all the driving bets are always one way because you don't like driving long. You don't even like driving an hour and a half somewhere to
I don't
New
even
Jersey.
like commuting into the office, but I do it for you guys.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't want to be home.
You're like, Perloff, why don't you drive to El Paso? And I'm like, you just complained because you had to go from North Jersey to another part of North Jersey.
I do not like to be in the car. 855-2124-CBS, 855-2124-227. All right, average annual value.
That's a sexy number right there.
Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
She's a violin prodigy. Her full name is Maggie the Stallion. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Welcome into the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Lots to do here. A very busy Friday. We are paying off bets around here today. We are also reacting to last night's big Bears win. Didn't think that's what we'd be talking about this morning, but Justin Fields' second straight game where he throws 4 touchdowns. They actually won this one. They were able to close out the Commanders, who seemed like they wanted no part of this game, at least through the first half. And now the thoughts on Justin Fields and his future have to be changing a bit, Perloff, because it turns out the kid can actually play.
Well, we knew he could play. We saw him at Ohio State. But I don't know. They're 1-4 now. So now our thoughts are changing because they beat the Commanders, who didn't even show up. Honestly, I think
they should have beat the Broncos.
They should have beat the Broncos.
21-point lead.
I think this Justin Fields experiment is still very much in its early stages. Like, we do not know, because they beat Washington last night, we do not know that Justin Fields is the answer. So if he could build on these 2 games, yes. But come on, Washington and Denver, aren't you sus? Denver let up 70 points to the Dolphins.
Their defense stinks.
I
get that.
I just think you have to be careful. You and everybody has to be careful to judge the opponent. Fortunately for Fields, he's got some easy opponents. He's got the Raiders and Chargers coming up, and I think I could pass for 300 yards against them.
I mean, yeah, he might end up being, ironically, maybe the worst place you want to be in professional sports, which is mediocre in the middle and not sure what to do with a young quarterback who you're going to have to decide after the season whether or not to pick up his 5th-year option to the tune of about $20 million. You know, it's kind of easier when you're spiraling out of control and you're headed towards the number 1 overall pick and Caleb Williams is sitting right there. That's sort of the easy thing. How it gets difficult is if Fields continues to play well, you win a couple games and you have maybe the 2nd or 3rd or 4th pick. Then what do you do? Much tougher.
Depends how well. I mean, if you have the 2nd pick, how well could Justin Fields have played?
Well, I mean,
he's in the NFC North. He's not facing a murderer's row of teams.
I get it, but I mean, they staked their team to a 21-point lead last week and ended up blowing the game. So he could still play well and have good stats, and they could still lose.
You know, he did some things last night. You saw Justin Fields obviously can throw the ball 40 yards downfield very well. But is he, when you watch him play, does he feel like a smooth, accurate, fully developed quarterback in that offense? To me, there's a lot of...
He's talking to DJ Moore, he does, because he puts these balls in tight windows to DJ Moore, and it looks great. Moore had 3 touchdowns last night, including like a 55-yarder in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. But everyone else he tries to throw to in tight windows doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And and sometimes he'll hold on to the ball, too, trying to make a play. By the way, there was 2 plays where I was wondering, like, why aren't the Commanders tackling DJ Moore? The guys are just running along the sideline with him like they're jogging together. Just push him out of bounds, dude. The Commanders, it was
like an escort.
It's 2 teams. Yeah, I know. It's 2 teams in a row that have refused to tackle anybody. We'll see. Minnesota coming up next. At least the experiment's a lot of fun. Now we have something to watch with the Bears. I was afraid they were going to be totally irrelevant.
One other thing about the Bears that we learned last night, they can execute the tush push.
I know.
We found the other team. I know some teams have been able to do it, but this team is committing to the brotherly shove almost as much as your Eagles. I mean, they were like executing that play.
He's got to have his hand on the butt.
Yep, exactly. And they were down a couple offensive linemen throughout the game and still were doing the touch.
It's not hard.
Push the right butt cheek specifically.
Yes.
There's nothing to it. I don't understand. There's no execute. You just hike the ball, fall forward, and 3 guys push you.
No,
every 32 teams should be running this on every short yardage situation.
I don't know. The New York Giants tried to run it, and 2 guys got hurt on the same play.
On the butt. He's got to get it up in there a little more.
I mean, Peyton knows it. Everyone knows it.
Justin Fields gained like 6 yards on one of them last night. He's a tall guy. When he fell forward, I was like, what? They should just run this on first down.
855-212-4CBS. Yes, DJ Moore, the big trade from the Carolina Panthers, already has more receiving yards and more touchdowns than any Bears wide receiver from all of last season. 531 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns, and that's good enough to surpass every wide receiver for the Bears last year. Meanwhile, Perloff is going to be paying off his bet today. He thought Joe Burrow was going to take less money than Justin Herbert. Perloff. Oh, surely you were joking. So now he has to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands. Let's go to our pal Nebby is in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Nebby.
Good morning and congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you.
Love listening to you in the morning. And Perloff's punishment should be an advice duck tattoo.
Oh, you know what? Nebby, that's diabolical.
That would be a fun. If I had tattoos and I was a tattoo person, I would definitely get that. That'd be great.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Nebby. Good to talk with
Sure.
you. So,
Sure
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hang up on you there, pal. Thank you for calling in. So, the advice duck did not make an appearance this week. The new audience does not know about the duck.
Well, I mean, I hope there's some of the same audience too. They know about the duck. The duck is world famous.
So the duck was also actually another bet that I lost to our friend and listener, loyal listener, Nick in Texas. I went to a college, just quickly, I went to a college that didn't have a football team. I went to the George Washington University. So I've never really had a college football team, Perloff, that I've really rooted for super hard. So last year, college football team started recruiting me to kind of be a fan of theirs. And the Cal Bears really put the hard press and the hard sell. Our friend Amy Trask, a former president of the Raiders, and others. So I became a Bears fan. I lost a bet to Nick in Texas, who's a big Oregon Ducks fan. I had to wear a duck suit for a show. And then we just had the duck suit lying around. I'm like, well, what can we do with the duck? So we started the advice duck. You come in with your questions, and the duck gives you advice. Are ducks wise? We have
Yeah,
no
that's a
idea.
great question.
We never stopped to think. Anyway, so every week I wear a duck suit. I didn't do it this week.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, I think we ordered Peking duck and watched the advice duck eat duck.
Yeah,
That was gross.
it was like cannibalism.
Wait, did you actually eat the duck?
I did eat the duck.
Oh yeah, it's delicious. What
It's
are you
so
gonna do?
good.
So, no duck today. No duck for the first Friday in the morning?
Well, the duck.
I mean, Perloff's eating chili today. I got a poncho that I'm gonna wear. We got celebrity NFL picks later.
We can eat duck. We could cannibalize you.
Gosh, I don't know. Is it too many eating things in one show? Feels like amateur hour. Am I wearing the duck suit today? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm overwhelmed.
Pat just made things a little weird again. By the way, after yesterday, we
Well, hold on. We're talking about eating goat anus, pig anus, and I make a joke about
we could eat
being cannibals on Maggie, and that's where you're going to draw
Maggie,
the line.
you're going to dress up as a duck. We could eat you and cannibalize you.
Yeah, Pat, you weirdo.
Now, by the way, I'm not saying you don't fit in. I'm just saying that got weird.
I'm overwhelmed. Let me think about the duck while we go to Big Dave in Kentucky. Big Dave, very calming presence on this show. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. So I wake up this morning and fire the Keurig up, cup of coffee, thinking about doing a little sausage biscuit, turn the program on YouTube.com, and the first thing I hear is Maggie talking about pig anus.
Welcome to the mornings, Dave.
Yeah, did not get the day off to the best start. But it's extremely interesting. But listen, y'all were talking about Alabama and whether or not Saban's dead, and it's the dynasty over. I got news for you. All dynasties in college football are over. Just simply the NIL and the transfer portal and all. I don't think Alabama has a chance. And Maggie, I got to tell you, when you glossed over my undefeated Kentucky Wildcats playing the #1 Georgia Bulldogs tomorrow, when you were referencing what a great college Saturday it's going to be tomorrow, so I'm a little offended by that.
You know, Dave, offending you is the last thing I want to do. I am sorry. What's the spread on this game? Is 14?
I think it was 6. Maybe it's 14 now. It was 16 the last time I saw. But
okay, I think that Kirby Smart's doing this thing, and I know Kentucky and the offense and everything, it's looking good. I think Kirby Smart's doing this thing that he wants to try to build this game up so it looks like a really good win when they eventually beat Kentucky. I'm sorry. I think they're going to win. And then Kirby Smart's going to be able to say, "Hey, everyone's talking about our schedule is so weak. Like we had to play this great Kentucky team, and I think they're gonna handle them."
Wait. Kentucky just blew out Florida.
I know, but
What does Kirby Smart have to do with anything?
no, but the Georgia schedule is so weak.
Oh, I see.
That he's trying to juice the schedule.
Yeah, but
a little bit.
they're the number 20 team in the country.
I get that, but they won a game where their quarterback barely had to throw any passes
Yeah,
because
because
of the run game, and I think Georgia's going to stop the run game.
I don't know.
Make no mistake. I'm not predicting a victory here.
Yeah.
I think probably anything under 10 points is probably, and I ain't getting the moral victories, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm also a realist. But listen, Georgia has not looked like, and it's this has got nothing to do with the game tomorrow, but back to the point about Alabama and the dynasty's dying, or their dynasty dying, Georgia was tied with Auburn at halftime. I mean, they have got off to uncharacteristically slow starts, and they're not the dominant team right now. Who knows? I mean, you've got probably 5, maybe 16. Michigan looks really good. Texas looks really good. Ohio State looks really good. I don't know. It's not the same. It's just not the same landscape. Love the show, guy, and what's those pigs anus?
Dave, thanks for playing along. Dave, a former warden.
This
awesome
game,
member of the Maggie and Perloff extended family.
So the game's in Georgia, so it's going to be a very hard to upset them. But I think Dave's 100% right about his bigger point. There are the college football runs. They are not going to be happening in the future.
Okay, but what if Georgia three-peats? Then we have a dynasty, right?
But I would say, okay, this year, yeah, maybe. But the next 10 years, I think we're going to see all sorts of teams coming here. I heard Kirk Herbstreit talking about this yesterday. He said just the transfer portal and NIL, the ability to pay people, like you don't want to sit and be third stringer at Alabama because you can get paid to be on the field somewhere else. So the combination of the two is spreading the talent out. And that's a reality. I mean, it's very clear. The Colorado, for the many lessons we've gotten out of Deion, is, man, you can build quickly. I don't think Alabama, look at what Alabama's done the last 15 years. There's no way they can keep that up.
Well, what is it, right? It's free agency. And that's what happened
in pro cap.
Sports, right? And that's what happened in pro sports, and that's why dynasties are much harder to come by in pro sports because of free agency.
Yeah, we haven't had a repeat NFL champion since 2004. We've had 5 straight different NBA champions. That's a great point. I think that we're going to see a lot of different. TCU last year, I think, was the first one. We're going to see some weird things. Then we get the 12-team playoff.
I know, and that's going to make things, I think, even cooler and better. I'm always I'm a expand the postseason kind of person.
Everybody. I think 90% of college fans are happy about 12.
I think they are, but at the same point, the great thing about college is like every game matters so much, and you're really sweating out like Alabama and A&M. It's like Alabama, if they have 2 losses, they're never getting in. Well, when a 12-team playoff, they're getting in. So it does devalue the regular season. That's always the trade-off.
Dave also had a good point. It is a top-heavy year. I mean, there are some teams. Michigan's not going to have a lot of, the Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State thing. You can get 2 of the 4 to be Big Ten, and then the Pac-12. It's going to be tough for these teams that were used to just walk. Even Georgia. I know I'm curious if they have some slow games here. It's not that like their schedule is easy, but they're playing SEC teams. You've watched them. Have they blown you anywhere away?
No, they haven't. But, I mean, I remember last year when they had a scare against Mizzou, and then they went on and they were gangbusters the rest of the year. You're right. It's the SEC. It's difficult. This is a home game. And Dave made me realize, I mean, how many people's mornings did we potentially ruin talking about pig anus? I didn't think about that. People are starting to eat breakfast. We're bringing this up.
Let's hope the breakfast is digested. That's the key.
Yikes!
I think some, not everybody. I don't think we've
ruined everyone's morning.
I don't think we've lost the world.
All right.
I think it's a little bit. Maybe like the people that are getting up for a 5 a.m. start or a 6 a.m. start.
All right. Just those people, we ruined their day.
Yes.
Right.
They don't want to hear about anus?
No, I guess not. Well, that's going to be a problem on the show moving forward because that was going to be one of our main topics from here on out.
Yeah, I think this is a one-off, to be totally honest.
We're going to talk about big pig body parts. It's going to be a central theme on this show.
Wait, so that pre-production meeting about taking out Daily Deion and placing it with the...
Name this part of the pig?
Yeah.
Yeah. Know your cuts of meat used to be a David Letterman bit from back in the day. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. All right, enough about the pigs. We've got to get to Cowboys, 49ers, one of the huge games, Sunday Night Football. This is going to be a big one. We get that kicked off next. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff. You want to participate? 855-212-4CBS. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff, getting your morning started. Off on the right foot here, the Bears, big win last night. Justin Fields, I read this, Perloff, this morning. from Courtney Cronin. First Bears player with 200-plus yards from scrimmage and 3 touchdowns since Walter Payton in 1979.
DJ Moore, yeah.
DJ Moore.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that crazy?
So what are the numbers again? Over 200 yards?
Over 200 yards from scrimmage and 3 touchdowns. First one since Walter Payton, 1979 in Bears history.
Yeah, 230 is pretty crazy, by the way.
That's not the most in Bears history, but it's second most.
How often do receivers get over 200 yards? It's sort of hard to put in perspective because you never would have expected that last night.
I believe Alshon Jeffrey has the most receiving yards in a single game ever in Bears history, but this is 200-plus yards from scrimmage, 3 touchdowns. First time since the 70s. Yeah.
And he might have had more. That play in the first half where they said he stepped out of bounds, they never showed you that he actually did. After the game, he said, I didn't. And Fields missed him a few times, too. That could have been even bigger numbers.
You're so right. Andrew Bogusch is here. You're right. That's streaking down the sideline, and all of a sudden he stops because the whistle blows, and you can tell he's ticked off.
Yeah.
And they never gave us a good angle on Amazon last night.
Wasn't there something weird about the way the field looked? Like it was misty or something? Like it just looked out of focus the entire game to me.
Maybe
Like
it's your Wi-Fi connection.
No, it just didn't look like, to me, something about that stadium and the cameras, like it did not look like a big-time game last night. Like the Chiefs game on Sunday when they had that bright red popping, like last night looked like a mess out there.
But that was something was weird about that Chiefs game. Like it was oversaturated almost, the color, because that Chiefs red was so like
But it's
burning your retina.
Yeah, last night's
burgundy.
Yeah, last night's game, like they don't have the best lights in that Washington Stadium or something. I just thought.
I mean, that would track, right? The way they go about
Yeah,
their business.
it looked like
We got some second-rate lighting system.
Yeah.
a JV system, right? Yeah, a JV stadium right there. Magic will fix that.
It's also like a lower angle, it feels like.
Yes,
So I think that
definitely.
plays into it as well. You're almost looking like into the field instead of down onto it.
And it was so weird too because DJ Moore was running and like you couldn't even see the Washington guys in the frame. I'm like, what? Why is that guy wide open?
Well, that's just because they sucked.
The safety
they
would
didn't show up.
The safety, it was like kryptonite. The safety would run the opposite way of DJ Moore every time he came down the field. Bizarre.
Let's get to Andrew Bogusch and some headlines. Good morning.
So after 2 weeks, they were the Commanders. They were 2-0. 3 games later, they are the
Commanders.
Losers of 3 in a row. Washington down 27-3 halfway through Thursday Night Football. They got as close as 10 in the fourth before losing 40-20 to a team that had lost 14 consecutive regular season games, had their second best wide receiver home pouting, and had their defensive coordinator quit amid rumors of an FBI investigation. How's it going, Ron Rivera?
That's not good enough. It's not good enough. It starts with me, and we're going to go back and look at a lot of things, and we're going to get some things corrected, and we'll go out and we'll play football.
His offense committed 2 turnovers, let Sam Howell get sacked 5 times. His defense let Justin Fields throw for 4 scores, 3 of them to DJ Moore. Again, 8 catches, 230 total for him. Now, Chicago's first win since last October 24th came on the day that Dick Butkus died at 80. Don't forget that the legendary linebacker only played 9 seasons because of a chronic knee problem, yet he is on 2 all-decade teams, as well as the NFL's 75th and 100th anniversary teams.
Oh, sorry. Really quickly, in the chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio, where you might want to hang out on YouTube when Perloff eats the bowl of chili today with no hands. Daily News in the chat said the Commanders' uniforms were unrecognizable. Those really dark, all black.
Yeah.
Maybe that added to how weird the game looked too, because it was odd.
I kind of like them a little bit. They are definitely polarizing, though.
It reminds me of Any Given Sunday. Like when Any Given Sunday, the movie, they had to use fake teams.
Like the Sharks.
the Florida Miami Sharks or whatever
Yeah,
they
the
called
Sharks, yeah.
because they had to use, the NFL wouldn't allow them to use like real team names.
It's like an insurance commercial and they cut to a football game and there's 2 uniforms you never saw in your life.
Blue versus red.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
As for today's defenses, the Giants don't play much of it, and they're facing the Dolphins, who are fairly good at offense. New York D coordinator Wink Martindale better have more than jokes.
My wife called me last night before she went to bed. She said she was worried about me. She said, "Are you getting any sleep?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sleeping like a baby. Every 2 hours I wake up and cry and go to the bathroom and try to go back and get some more sleep."
On a more serious note, Martindale compared these Dolphins to the Rams' greatest show on turf.
This is like that 2023 supersonic. I mean, they're faster than that.
I was talking to Maggie yesterday, and Perloff, Don Wink Martindale looks like he hasn't cried in 40 years. This guy's waking up in the middle of the night to cry about the Dolphins' offense.
Well, listen to how coaches are talking about the Dolphins. Like last week, you had Sean McDermott said they're revolutionary. Now you got Wink Martindale saying he's crying just thinking about them. I mean, I thought the Bills and the Patriots kind of gave a little bit of a blueprint on how to contain them, right?
The Bills certainly did.
The Patriots did too. I thought so.
Yeah, here's the thing: the Giants can't tackle. So when you can't tackle and you can't block,
might be a problem.
Yeah.
I find the Giants very confusing. Are they bad on offense or bad on defense? Because I feel like
bad everywhere. Special team. They might have the worst special teams in history.
Their special teams is by far the worst of those three units, and they're last in the league in defense. I can't believe. So because I think when I think the Giants struggles, I think Daniel Jones being bad, but it's really the defense.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
like they have no offensive line. They can't tackle. They can't cover anybody. They can't catch a punt. They can't go one play without a penalty.
The special teams flags on Monday night were preposterous.
There were 6 of them.
Like they got called for holding while punting the football away. How do you do that?
And I think twice they got called for lining up incorrectly. This is the day one stuff.
Wow, this game should be fun.
It's not going to be Broncos 70, but they're going to score 50. They're going to destroy the Giants. Destroy them.
Ooh.
I got to tell you, though, you saw the Chargers-Dolphins game. I can defensive coordinate against the Dolphins. Just let them get 14, 12-yard passes. Do not let Tyreek Hill run 25 yards past the safety. I don't understand. Well, easier said than done.
So 14, 12-yard passes, that would be
keep everything in front of you. That's
180 yards.
That's what the Patriots kept everything in front of them. I think the Bills did that too, and the Bills got after Tua.
The Bills did a good job stopping the run. I mean, that was basically took that facet away from them and then got a little pressure on Tua, and there you go.
Yeah. We're doing picks later today. I think Devon Achane prop, I think he's going to run all over them.
Bogues, what else?
Good times. Saquon Barkley, by the way, continues to practice for the Giants, but remains non-committal about returning from his ankle injury for this game Sunday in Miami. Utah QB Cam Rising revealed yesterday his Rose Bowl injury was not just a torn ACL. 3 other things in that knee were torn, which explains why he's not back yet. The team kept hinting that Rising could be ready for its opener, but now it's October and he hasn't played, but is practicing without limitations. Not surprisingly, former Northwestern football coach Pat Fitzgerald is suing the school for wrongful termination. Fitzgerald seeking $130 million in unpaid salary and lost future earnings. His main argument is he got fired after being given that suspension with no new information coming forward about the hazing investigation. So the school says nothing changed to warrant the huge jump in punishment.
I think Mel Tucker is basically alleging the same thing, right? At Michigan State. It's like, you knew about this, no new information came forward, you didn't fire me at first glance, and now you're firing me a couple months later.
But Tucker's also attacking her. I don't think Fitzgerald is fighting back on any hazing allegations or what did or didn't happen. It's just the semantics of me losing my job.
Right. But it also, though, Fitzgerald's defense is I didn't know. And I think that's going to work. I don't think they can pin him directly to these things. I think he's winning a lot of money. And I read a lot of analysis on this yesterday. Everyone thinks he's going to wipe the floor with the school in the court.
Wait, but what about didn't know but should have known?
Should have known, but not to quote Darren Ravel, but how come the president of the school didn't know? How come a lot of people didn't know?
I mean, the head football coach is a little closer to the product than the president, no?
And but you're breaking a contract, though. I mean, a big contract for millions of dollars on things that are not super concrete. You're not going to get away with it.
And there's got to be 18 sound bites of him talking about how he knows everything, controls everything, he's in charge of the program, and now he wants to go, there are things I didn't know.
He's going to make some money. I would be willing to bet.
I smell a settlement.
Yeah. I smell an $80 million settlement. Mel Tucker will probably settle.
I bet he will.
Well, because why would the college want to drag all this through court?
U.S. men's soccer, including Gio Reyna, for 2 friendlies later this month, meaning he'll work with head coach Greg Berhalter for the first time since their World Cup embarrassment. Berhalter said recently they have spoken via Zoom, but their relationship still needs some repairs.
What about mommy and daddy?
Yeah, well, if you don't remember, Berhalter said he almost sent a player home from Qatar for poor behavior over playing time. People are smart, knew that was Reyna, which led mommy and daddy to tell U.S. Soccer that there had been domestic violence allegations in Berhalter's past. He, I guess, temporarily lost the job. They did an investigation. They talked to people and then gave him the job back, which brings us to today and him once again coaching Gio Reyna. Mets GM Billy Epler resigned yesterday and made a report that he is being investigated for misusing the IL. Epler's statement said he wanted to make room for new President David Stearns, but the plan all along was for Epler to keep working with Stearns. And meanwhile, baseball's division series begin tomorrow, all 4 of them. The Astros lining up Justin Verlander and Framber Valdez to begin their best of 5 with the Twins. Guys, back to you.
That was a lot of information. Nice job, Bogusch. Bogusch will be back calling play-by-play when Perloff sticks his head into a bowl of chili. Sorry.
I want to eat some too, like in a traditional way.
Well, that's not allowed here.
I have 4 cans.
It's no hands or nothing.
Yeah, there's plenty of chili to go around.
But my concern is I'm not having Skyline chili at its best, and I don't want to have the wrong impression of it because it was prepared oddly in a microwave by Andrew Kaplan.
When are you ever going to have it?
I could find my way to Cincinnati at some point. I've been there once. I could go back again.
I mean, honestly, though, what do you think? It's like going to the Heineken factory in Amsterdam. It's going to be the freaking same, man. I think it's gonna taste exactly the same coming out of the can that it would go into Skyline.
Extra can. There are a lot of people who swear by Skyline chili too.
Yes.
I know there are a lot of haters, but I agree with Bogusch. I got to imagine it's better in Cincinnati. No.
I don't know. I mean, if they're even supplying it in the can, they clearly feel like it's good quality.
All right.
Yeah, but I ordered a Primanti Brothers sandwich kit online, and that was delicious, but I know it's better not shipped to me in vacuum-sealed containers, me making the coleslaw and the French fries. It's got to be better fresh, live in Cincinnati. Has to be.
Fact you think anything there is fresh is amazing.
Whoa! Easy calamari.
I know. Boy, was that a wake-up call this morning. Thankfully, turns out it might just be an old wives' tale. We thought for a moment calamari may have just been wink, wink, not calamari, but pig anus. Thankfully, that's just an urban legend.
Hopefully.
We think. Bogues, thanks so much. Let's go to Dustin. He's in Sacramento. Hey, Dustin, good morning.
Morning. Before the last break, you guys said something about, college football playoff expanding to 12 teams and how you feel like 90% of people are excited for that. I am one of the 10% who is not excited for that.
Okay, why not?
Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. For one, I love college football. It's my all-time favorite. I look forward to this time of year every year. But what I love about it is you basically get one mistake in college football. You get one loss, and then after that, you got to be perfect to get, your shot at the national title. If we're going 12 teams deep, it just kind of devalues the regular season. Like, I love college basketball too, but you've got a regular season champion, you've got the conference tournament champion, then you got the March Madness. It's too much, and it just kind of devalues it. It's going to make it for some people like me, let's focus on the regular season, and now we only really care about the playoffs. And I'm a Miami Hurricanes guy. We have not been great for a long time. So it's not even like my heart's involved in that because it's not really going to affect us. We're not making the 12-team playoff.
Yes, you are.
You have a way better chance of making the 12-team playoff, though.
NIL, baby. Miami's coming.
Oh, man. But see, we had a good roster last year. It didn't develop. And then a lot of those really young players, they hit the portal. It takes one bad year with a great roster, and people are going to jump ship. Like you guys said, it's like free agency. It's the Wild West. You can just hop wherever you want now.
I know, but Dustin, that's why Miami, I think, it might be actually in a good spot because Perloff said the NIL money, I think, is big in Miami.
Great.
And then the other part about Miami, too, is you have Mario Cristobal, great recruiter. I mean, really great.
Mario.
The only thing is about whether or not the X's and O's are there. Dustin, thank you so much for the call. But the recruiting is no doubt.
Well, yeah, but now what we're saying is recruiting doesn't matter anymore. You don't want – who was the coach who said at the Final Four you don't want the 18-year-olds, you want them when they're 20?
That was Bruce Pearl.
Bruce Pearl,
Auburn basketball coach, told
Yeah.
us, why would I try to get a guy from high school and I've got to bring him in? This was Bruce Pearl, by the way. He said, get 15 pounds on him, put hair on his ass. Again, that was Bruce Pearl's words. When I could just go to the portal and get a more fully formed dude.
And that was last year before Deion. I think there's going to be PD post Deion where people are going to be like, now the transfer portal is just blown way up. How many transfer? But like 70. I think that now an 18-year-old recruit, I think coaches are not going to want that guy as much. So
No.
I don't know if recruiting matters. I think there's going to be incredible parity, which is another reason to go to 12. If you have 4, you might have the best team might be 5 or 6 and not make it into the tournament. I think it's going to be great. 12's not that many, is it?
I mean, but listen, 12 goes to 24, and all of a sudden you're doing 64 and 68. I get where it could be that slippery
68,
slope.
yeah.
It's like the NCAA tournament. But listen, the thing about this is it's all rooted in what? Money, more playoff games, more money. But I think money, the greediness of college football and all of the conferences could actually align with the fans as well. Because I think it's going to be a good product. I get where he's coming from, though.
I think it's the opposite. I think the powers that be in college have tried to maintain the bowl system when the fans wanted a playoff. It's funny. The fans were the one who, and the powers that be were like, no, we don't want the more money. We want the old way so we can fly to the Sugar Bowl or something.
Yeah, right.
So it's been a weird situation where they've been turning down money by not going to this playoff. I remember they wanted the playoff to be like 10 years from now, and the TV networks pressure them to move it up. So it's been a really weird situation. 12 is going to be great. We're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. It's not like games aren't going to matter. I mean, take this Kentucky game.
Yeah.
If Kentucky beats Georgia, then they're probably in the 12. So it's a monstrous game.
I think so. I like it, but I'm one of those expand the playoffs people. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227, even though it does devalue the regular season. We know that. Coming up, why one NFL game is all about payback. Little Cowboys, 49ers talk coming your way in just moments. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, CBS Sports Radio, now in the morning. Perloff is going to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Did he lose a bet? Of course he did. Did you bring an extra change of clothes?
Yep, got a bunch of T-shirts.
Okay.
I have a poncho here to protect myself. I was thinking I have a red Phillies shirt and it's red chili, although it looks kind of brown. I don't know what's going on here. Do you expect it to spray all over the studio?
Well,
Do we have to put plastic everywhere?
Pat brought me in a poncho as well. Thank you, sir. We do have plastic we could put down.
We're not going over the Niagara Falls. I don't know if we both need ponchos.
They made of the mist.
Yeah.
I want shrapnel. I want Perloff. I think you got to take a big old dunk. Big old dunkaroo in that chili.
I'm supposed to eat the chili, not splash my head in chili. That was never part of the
You're a
bet.
showman. You're a showman.
YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you can watch this debacle go down. But don't worry, if you can't get to YouTube and you're listening on all of our amazing CBS Sports Radio affiliates, you will get the full experience just by the sounds of our voice.
Okay, I'm a showman. I know it would be good if it was messy, but would you guys be impressed if I could do this without a drop of chili or spaghetti getting anywhere? Do you think that's logistically possible? It's kind of soupy chili on top of spaghetti with melted cheese. What if I ate it with no hands and it was like perfectly clean, which wouldn't even happen in a restaurant with me? I'm kind of a sloppy eater, but what if there wasn't a drop of chili anywhere?
Have you been like
practicing?
Yeah, have you been training? There's no
That'd be
chance,
amazing.
right?
I should have done that all week. I should have been eating with no fork and no spoon.
Would you like cue up a Rocky montage for you or something?
Missed opportunity. We should have done a 24/7 video of me preparing to eat the chili.
It's like, why is Manny Pacquiao there?
I could have eaten cereal without hands. Yeah. I could have practiced. You're right. I have no idea how this is going to go down. If I'd worked this week, I could have made it pristine.
Don't even do this with Perloff. He's from Philly. Every time he hears the Rocky theme song, he goes like into a trance.
One man will eat chili with no hands.
Just eat Rocky.
Take this.
Mick, before he strokes out.
What are we waiting for?
The chili.
Chase the chili. Chase the chili.
By the way, Maggie has a good point. Bilotti, get the "What Are We Waiting For" drop ready at all times. If the Phillies make it past the Braves, it's going to be obnoxious.
Perloff is such a Philadelphia fan. He is convinced that the Super Bowl where they beat the Patriots in Minnesota, that the fact that they played the
Rocky 2 clip where Adrian is sick in bed and she has Rocky come up and
come closer,
win. They play that, and the Patriots, first of all, they didn't have Malcolm Butler, was one issue, but that was the second major issue. I knew the Eagles were going to win.
Field. You're not supposed to be playing the
they
Philadelphia hype
had
stuff.
no chance. Poor Patriots. I mean, after years of cheating, they deserve that, though.
I agree. Let's get to our Cowboy Quickie. big game this weekend. Huge game. Cowboys, 49ers. Let's hear from Dak Prescott. Can we, Pete? Cut number 5. Not happy when he's asked about the back-to-back playoff losses to the 49ers.
We're so far past that, to be honest with you, but that's obvious. I mean, you just want to piss me off going into this week, and I appreciate that. I do, actually. I do. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Lost drive you got.
I mean, every day. Every day. Every day, Ty, every day.
That is Dak and your Cowboy Quickie. Perfectly executed. Double nay.
Wow.
Listen, Dak's not wrong there. He should be ticked off. The last 2 times these two teams met in the playoffs, the Cowboys scored 12 points and then 17 points 2 years ago. This has not been the offensive output that we should be expecting from Prescott. And if you go back to 2021, when they lost on Prescott sliding too late and then the referee couldn't get the ball spotted, that was a game that didn't have Nick Bosa and didn't have Fred Warner. So it's not even like they had 2 of their major defensive players. That was obviously 2 years ago.
So this is obviously personal for Dak Prescott.
Should be.
There's 2 questions. One, will he throw an interception? He's been pretty clean so far.
Only 1 pick so far this year, 1 turnover.
And that's been his big issue. The other thing, they're terrible in the red zone so far this year because he won't run. We all know he can run in touchdowns if he wants to, but he's been holding back. The thing is, if he's going to run in the red zone, those Niners defenders are killers. Are they gonna hurt Dak? Because I get the sense that Dak wants to prove everybody wrong, and he's just gonna run every play he can, and that's great to win a Week 5 game. But I worry that he's gonna maybe get hurt against this defense. Because the way I hear him talking, he wants to have the biggest game of his career.
I think he feels that pressure. I mean, how could you not, right? The 49ers have taken your lunch and embarrassed you the last 2 years when you had this great offense all season long, and then it totally cratered when you met the 49ers. You're so right about Dak. Only 11 carries so far on the entire season. Only 4 touchdown passes this entire season. It's like as soon as they get in the red zone, everything just like turtles up, and they are, quite frankly, terrible. Through 4 weeks, they have the 30th ranked red zone as far as touchdowns are concerned, red zone offense. There's only 2 teams that are worse than them.
There is an excuse, though. I mean, look who they've been playing.
What? All the good defenses.
I mean, no, they've been up by 40 points. They played They played the Giants, who, as we mentioned before, couldn't field a punt. They played the Jets and New England. Decent defense, but they had no pressure to score. They might as well go for a field goal because they were up by 20 points. So I think that they're going to have to run Dak Prescott here. Dak's not going to. Why would he run against New England? They were up by 20 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But and Jerry Jones talked about, well, red zone offense, it kind of ebbs and flows. It's like, well, I don't know. You guys were amazing at it last year.
They've clearly held their offense back. And why wouldn't they? I mean, they have not played a real team yet. Arizona, they lost. I don't think they expected that against Arizona, but I think they have plays the Niners have not seen on tape. Hey, look, the Giants, the Jets, the Cardinals, and the Patriots, that is nothing. So that's preseason. Now it begins for the Cowboys. I think they're going to throw the kitchen sink at them, but is that enough?
Well, that's a great question. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. I mean, the other part, too, is you want to do enough to win this game. But, right, do you want to show them everything?
Oh, that's another great point.
Because what are the odds that they're going to meet again in the playoffs? I know you can't bank on that because you never know. And who knows, they could face your Eagles in the first round. It could break anyway.
Right.
But, this is going to be interesting. Right now, I believe the Cowboys are a 4.5 point.
Oh, I saw 3.5. Is it now 4.5? I mean, it's in San Francisco, so I think that's a huge factor here. The Cowboys under McCarthy aren't as good on the road, and it's on grass, which isn't great for Micah Parsons. So, again, you know what's going to happen, though? Are we going to do this thing where after this game, we're going to overreact to the – I think here's what's going to happen. I think if the Cowboys win, everyone's going to say, all right, let's see you do it in playoffs. And if the Niners win, everyone's going to say, oh, look, the Niners
continues.
They will always be better than the Cowboys.
They have like Dak Prescott's number because the numbers for Prescott in the last 2 games have been bad. I mean, passer rating of like 66, that's bad. He's only thrown 2 touchdown passes, 1 rushing touchdown, and 3 interceptions in those 2 playoff games to the 49ers. Just not good enough. And the third down conversions have been terrible against the 49ers. So the 49ers have the formula. It's just, yes, what are the Cowboys going to do differently? Because here's the other thing about the Cowboys so far this year. And I know it's early, and you mentioned it, like they've had big leads in a lot of these games. Like, no one's really emerged yet. Like, we know CeeDee Lamb is their number one receiver.
Yeah.
But nobody has, I believe Pollard's the only one who's got multiple touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Brandon Cooks has not showed up at all, but
Yeah.
maybe BC hasn't had to. The offense, we don't really know what the post-Kellen Moore offense is.
we know what the numbers say. They're not that it's not as potent, but the defense has also been contributing a lot in terms of.
It's not as potent. They've won 38-3, 30-10, 40-0.
No, but they are like 11th in total offense so far this year, where they were 4th last year.
Honestly, that's a function of what are you going to do? You're scoring 40 points a game.
It's not
They can't
bad.
do anything because the defense is so dominant.
Well, the defense has really contributed to the scoring as well.
Right. So when you're up 40-0 on the Giants, you can't pass the ball all over the field to
No, I
be
get it.
unprofessional.
But that 40-0 score was
That's
was
my
not
point.
representative of the offense because
Yeah.
they got so many points off turnovers.
But the offense has to hold back when
That's
it's a blowout win. So you can't throw the ball when you're up by all those points. The New England game wasn't even competitive. It was a total joke from the get-go. Mac Jones had no chance.
I was surprised when I saw this that the Dallas Cowboys defense has scored 50 points so far this year.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing. The whole team's only scored 124 points, and the defense has scored 50 of them.
Full disclosure, the Cowboys are your Super Bowl pick.
Yes.
I'm looking at this team, and it's been bad. 95 was the last NFC title game? This defense is the thing that's different. We don't know about the offense, but Micah Parsons and I think
Even better
DeMarcus
than
Lawrence.
last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think, do you think, as you've been watching the Cowboys so far, we'll see on Sunday, do you see this as still as a Super Bowl team? If you had a mulligan before the Niners game, I'm curious what you say after. Before the Niners game, would you take it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel better about my Super Bowl pick in the NFC than I do in the AFC, where I picked the Jags to go to the Super Bowl. That one I might want back. Long season. But my thought process there was I thought the Jags were going to be the team that could win enough games to get the number 1 seed. So they'd have the bye, they would have home field, and I thought that would really help them. Meanwhile, the Cowboys I still feel good about. The Arizona loss, that was concerning because I think they didn't show up for that game. They thought that Arizona was going to roll over. Meanwhile, Arizona has not rolled over at all. They've been very spry, even though they're not winning games.
I actually, as an Eagles fan, I'm rooting for the Cowboys. I do not want the playoffs to go through San Francisco.
Well, that's what Jerry said.
Is it okay? Was he talking about home field when he said that?
Jerry earlier this week said the 49ers own the NFC.
They are right now probably the most likely team to go in the Super Bowl. And but in order for them to get there, they've got to go by us, hopefully 2 times, if that's the way it falls in the playoffs, and we're in the playoffs.
Yeah. Really forgot about your Eagles when he was saying that.
I don't even care about that. Well, whatever. Who cares about what Jerry analyzes here? It's got for the Eagles to beat the Niners, it's got to be in Philly. That was because
helped you last year.
Yeah, I just think that they get this ferocious thing going. The officials get scared. I think the Niners, I'll be honest, are the best team. I'll say that as an Eagles fan. They have, 7 Hall of Famers or 8? You don't have that many Hall of Famers and not win a Super Bowl. So I'm really worried about the Niners. If I had a mulligan, I'd pick the Niners. I picked the Eagles first.
Yeah.
So I'm actually rooting for the Cowboys to beat up on the Niners and find a way to win because they do not scare me.
Oh, wait, I'm forgetting. Oh, yeah. I was like, who was Perloff's AFC pick? Oh, I remember. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Still good on that.
Really?
Oh, no, not really.
I was like, what? How could you still feel good about the Steelers? However, I like the Steelers this week. This is
discount Mike Tomlin all you want. Just wait for the late season run to get to 9-8.
I like them this week. They're underdogs at home against the Ravens. Now I know the Ravens have been still good even despite all their injuries. This is one of those things where everybody is piling on the Steelers. A perfect spot here for Pittsburgh.
I think I saw the underdog has covered 15 of the last 17 games in that series.
And Trubisky, we got to get Trubisky's numbers aren't terrible against Baltimore. They're bad, but not terrible.
Coming up, was last night a turning point or fool's gold? We'll get to that in just moments. Don't move. Maggie, Perloff. Perloff eats chili in about an hour. Don't miss it.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
One thing I want you to do for me.
What?
There's one thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Eat the chili. Eat the chili.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
One thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Eat the chili. Eat the chili.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
Sunday is a tough challenge at San Francisco.
side of things, for people who had written off Justin Fields, written off everything going on with the Bears, considering all the drama they've had this season, they get a little reprieve here, a little moment to breathe with Justin Fields throwing four touchdowns, in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they have the 10 days, you're right. They have a moment to breathe, but right at their season, they've won 1 out of 15 games, and they beat Sam Howell and the Commanders, who've lost 3 in a row, and now appear to be terrible. So I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit of false hope for the Bears.
They got up off the mat, maybe is a little bit better, right? Like they had no pulse, and it was the defensive coordinator resigned, and that was weird. And Chase Claypool has to be away from the team. And who is this Matt Eberflus, and why can't he get the team together? And Justin Fields might not have a career. Well, back-to-back weeks, Fields has looked good. And if they do continue to win games, ironically, could be the worst thing for them because it's easy if you just lose, get the number 1 overall pick, you can start over with Caleb Williams. When you win a couple games and you get stuck and maybe we have the 2nd, 3rd, 4th pick, then things get a little bit more difficult.
Continue to win games. They won 1 game.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. It just sounds like you're painting an optimistic picture because it was a standalone game. I don't know. I think that if you're a Bears fan, any hope is false hope here. And I think they're going to have to start over next year, and they have to get high up in that draft. And I'm sorry, they're going to have to get a quarterback. Even if Justin Fields is good, they're going to have to start over with a new coach and a rookie, a quarterback on a rookie deal, because a new coach comes in. They're basically going to be the New York Giants with Daniel Jones. I'm not sure they build a winner around Justin Fields fast enough.
Okay, so then what happens? Fields gets traded? Like if he keeps playing like he did the last 2 weeks, where they lost last week, even though they were staked to a 21-point lead against Denver, and then they win this week, but he's looked like he can actually throw the football. And when he has a weapon like DJ Moore, this looks much better. Again, DJ Moore already has better numbers in terms of receiving yards and touchdowns than any Bears wide receiver from all of last season. Like, the dude just needed some help, maybe. So now, like, what do you do with Fields? You trade him away? Like, you keep him as a backup for your rookie?
Yeah, maybe.
That's tough.
That's what happened. What happens to most of these failed first-round picks, which is most first-round picks?
Go to a different team.
Well, or they just hang out for 1 year while the rookie's there. Like, didn't Trubisky do that? I can't even remember. But yeah, he might go to a different team. What are you going to get in a trade for Justin Fields?
Well, if he still plays like this and he actually puts up representative numbers, I'm not saying that at the trade deadline it might be a possibility, but maybe that's rare. But perhaps after the season's done, maybe you have a team like Atlanta or a team like the Rams or a team who might be looking to turn the page.
For like a Trey Lance package, a 4th-round pick, 3rd-round pick?
It might be a little higher considering Trey Lance didn't even play. Like, we have no idea what Lance is. If Justin Fields continues to play well, you could have Fields and potentially Kyler Murray both on the trade market of guys who could have shown you a little something, even though it's not sustained.
Yeah, people are not going to want to pay Kyler Murray, and they're not going to want to sign a big contract for Justin Fields. I guess they'll look at it as a 1-year tryout. It's just, think about the NFL and who advances. It's the teams with rookie quarterbacks on rookie deals.
It's easier.
I mean, basically, I think there's only 1 Super Bowl in the last 10 years that hasn't had a quarterback on a rookie deal. So I think the Bears.
Well, the Chiefs. But Tom Brady was on a.
No, he was on a rookie. Well, I'm saying.
No, the second one.
The second one. Okay. No, but Jalen Hurts was on the rookie deal.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was. I mean, Tom Brady wasn't on a rookie deal.
No, but having 1 quarterback on a rookie deal. Everyone except one. There's always a quarterback on a rookie deal. And you almost always see that once you pay the money, that
instantly becomes harder.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure Jalen Hurts gets back soon. I'm not sure Joe Burrow gets back soon. Who else got paid? Justin Herbert.
Josh Allen's never been.
If they pay Tua, I'm not sure. The Dolphins obviously can't keep that dream team around them. So Lamar Jackson didn't get there in the first place. But right. So anyway, I do think that the Bears, think about where they are as a team. Say they go 4-13. They're not going to keep Eberflus, right? So you're going to bring in a new coach and give Justin Fields another system?
I don't know. All I know is that I watched him last night and I was like, oh yeah, this is someone who you could actually win with. He's got one good receiver. And last night, to be fair, I know the Commanders clearly are not a good team, but the Bears were losing guys on the offense, along the offensive line. They lost running backs last night to injury, and they were still able to put the game away. Unlike last week where they allowed Denver to hang around. This was different. This looked like Justin Fields looked like a first-round pick last night.
All right. You go ahead. Buy into it. Beating the Commanders and playing well against the Broncos. False hope, Meg.
Big day here on the Maggie and Perloff show. Well, every day is, to be honest. This one, a little messier than most. If you want to watch along, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio, or just listen to our voices, Theater of the Mind. Perloff lost a bet to me, which means he has to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands. He thought Joe Burrow was going to take less money than Justin Herbert.
I'll get out of here. I beat you in 10 bets. Stop.
That's true.
And I don't sit there and laugh. I have to eat the chili. Isn't that enough?
I know. Now I'm just rubbing it in. But like the chili on your face later. But we've got things here. We've got a bowl. We've got cans of Skyline chili. Perloff's already made the spaghetti in the microwave here at work.
Yeah, I had an assist. So I read online, how do you make spaghetti in a microwave? It said, pour water on it, put a cover on it, and do it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It took 12 minutes of microwaving to soften the spaghetti, according to Andrew Kaplan. So the spaghetti's fine. It's sitting right there. The spaghetti is key for me because I need something to grab onto. That's my lifeline right here. And
Save me spaghetti.
I have cheese, too.
Great.
And oyster crackers? I don't know. I'm not sure what you do with them.
Oh, yeah. Crunch. Have a little crunch.
Yeah, oyster crackers. That's going to be easy to eat with no hands.
Cap really did do a tremendous job microwaving this spaghetti. This is al dente.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Did you just eat some?
No, but I can if you'd like.
I have an important question here.
Yes.
Do I wear my glasses? Because I have another medical concern here. If I get chili on the glasses and I have no hands, I'm not going to be able to see what I'm eating. I'm going to have to go in there blind.
I didn't think about that. There's no way.
I wouldn't even know where the bowl is.
You'll have to sense it. There's no way your glasses would get scratched or anything, right?
I guess it depends what's in the chili.
That chili?
It is sharp cheddar. So maybe the cheese is sharp.
We don't need like you to be blind for the rest of the show. If you
Can I
scratch up the glasses.
expense new glasses if I ruin my glass? Can you imagine someone in corporate getting that invoice? He ruined his glasses eating chili with no hands. What kind of operation are we running here?
Wait, when you broke your glasses on Dan Patrick's show, very famous moment where you were trying to Harlem Globetrotter a basketball, spin it on your finger.
In a small room, yes.
And you broke your glasses. Did they pay for new glasses?
Oh, certainly not. Those were Oliver People's $400 glasses. I've since then not paid as much for glasses.
And what are these? The Sally Jesse Raphael collection?
These, yeah. These were the ones the insurance gave me.
Got it. They still look good. I definitely don't want them to be like permanently.
I appreciate that.
Disformed.
I think they'll be okay. It's very liquidy chili. I don't think they'll ruin glasses. There's nothing on the can about do not eat with glasses and no hands. There's no warnings here.
Man, if something goes wrong, we could really sue the crap out of
There is this really interesting thing on this can. It says serving suggestion. Enjoy a 3-way, a 4-way, a 5-way. I do not know what that means. Why would you get, it's like add cheese, it's a 3-way. That's not what I know as a 3-way.
a menage a cheese? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very sensual chili. I still don't understand why they just call it chili with cheese. Why is that a 3-way? It must be a Cincinnati thing.
I think it's suggestive, It's
I mean,
a little dangerous.
I don't know if I'm ready
chili.
for a 4-way, Maggie.
Yeah, people in Cincinnati, they have not had a lot of good football to cheer at over the years.
Yeah.
So they just start doing 4-ways and 5-ways with each other.
You got to keep busy somehow and warm.
It's cold in the winter in Cincinnati. You need a 5-way.
All that body heat. I never really thought of chili as being a sensual food.
Also, hot dogs are a big part of Skyline chili, too.
Let's not go there.
Oh, boy.
Those you can definitely get creative with.
Yikes.
But that's a real health risk. Eating hot dogs with whatever. And I'm not going to have that visual out on the internet.
Don't want to have the glizzy. No. 855-212-4CBS. That's an interesting time to give out the number. Gabe is in Oakland. Wants to talk about 49ers and Cowboys massive game this weekend. Gabe's got a thought. Good morning.
Hey, Maggie. I understand you chose Cowboys to be in the Super Bowl, representing the NFC, but honestly, despite how talented that roster is, as long as they have Mike McCarthy, they're not sniffing an NFC championship with confidence. They're no better than the Cowboys with Jason Garrett.
Man, but here's the thing. McCarthy is a Super Bowl winning head coach. I know they left a few out there. They definitely did. He got very conservative. You have Aaron Rodgers. You cannot be that conservative. But it's not like McCarthy hasn't coached in a big game. He beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
I feel like it was more Aaron Rodgers beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. That's just it was just the product that he had, and he was even able to make the best out of that. one of the better quarterbacks of our generation. And as far as this coming Sunday night, likewise, kind of rallying behind that, I just don't see Mike McCarthy outbeating Kyle by any means.
Listen, he hasn't been able to. It's been, Gabe, you're right on. And, the last 2 playoff games where McCarthy has been at the helm, whether it was calling plays or not, he's the head coach. He's an offensive-minded head coach. And they scored 12 points in one game and 17 in the other. That's not enough to win playoff games.
Yeah, but to be fair, Dallas defensive coordinator Dan Quinn has had Kyle Shanahan's number too. I mean, the Niners
know each other well from the Atlanta days.
Yeah, the Niners score over 30 pretty much every game except these Cowboys games. So maybe we shouldn't even be talking about Dak Prescott. And maybe we should be talking about Tony Pollard. Is the Cowboys defense, how many points did you say they've scored off turnovers? Are they the 85
50.
Bears of this league? Or are the Niners the 85 Bears? It ain't the Jets who claim they were the 85 Bears.
Whatever it is, it's definitely not the Jets.
I look at the Cowboys. I think Micah Parsons is a distinctive factor that makes him maybe different than all the teams that have failed over the last 28 years.
Well, the question, is he 100%?
I don't know. Yeah.
I know he's been practicing this week, but he was definitely limping around after last week's game. I don't know if he's 100%, but I'm sure he's going to play. Perloff, you brought up an interesting point of the break. It's like, I know this is a big game for the Cowboys. You got to be able to prove that you can beat the 49ers in a big spot, but is this a big spot? And a lot of times when you beat the team in the regular season, if you do see them again in the playoffs, it usually goes the other way. Right?
Yeah, it feels that way.
This happens to my team quite a bit. Root for the Buffalo Bills. They can generally beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season, and then when they get to the postseason, it's a different story.
I would say the most important thing about this is it's a 3-team race. It looks like a 3-team race. Apologies to Detroit there, but Dallas, San Francisco, and Philly, and they're all competing for home field. I think you don't want to go to San Francisco. So I do think maybe that's the most important thing here is getting home field advantage.
No, I mean, listen, and you've got to – I think it would go a long way confidence-wise, especially if Dak was able to have, a better game. I'm not even saying a big game,
that's a good point.
A better game. I think that maybe changes a little of the narrative, Gabe calling in saying McCarthy can never win or whatever.
And also, we know the reality of the Niners. If the Niners beat them – this is a fully healthy Niners team, and we've never seen that last all the way through. So you could lose, if you're Dallas, you could lose to them here and then maybe face them, who knows, without McCaffrey
right.
or without Brock Purdy, possibly, who's been playing great. I'm really curious. There's a couple battles here. Brock Purdy, will he throw any picks against Dallas? He threw a couple that were dropped last year, and he's been super clean, but Dallas pressures you in a new way. I think all of America wants to know, how good is Brock Purdy? Do you know?
I know he's not an MVP. That
okay.
I know. I
but
don't
are you 100%
sure
sure that Brock Purdy is not the NFL MVP?
I'm 100% sure Brock Purdy's not the NFL MVP because the nickname for the offense, or for most of a couple players in the offense, are the Yak brothers. Yards after the catch.
Yeah, but Purdy helps him with that. He puts it right on him.
He's good, but are you really telling me that he does more? He's like a point guard plus. He's like a great point guard. He's getting the ball to the places that he needs to. Are you telling me that he is actually a better quarterback than Josh Allen? Than Lamar Jackson?
No, I'm not. Yes, I'm not saying any of that. But this is about, was Matt Ryan, when he won the MVP, a better quarterback than Tom Brady? No. Was he better than, I'm not sure, it was 2016. Who else was good? But, okay, Brock Purdy right now sits 7th in MVP odds. Josh Allen, your guy, moved up to number 1.
Yeah.
Then Tua, then Mahomes. Yeah, I think if they go 15-2, I would not count them out.
But don't we see what this is?
I do.
You're such a system guy, and it's fine to play within the system. But Purdy is great, and I saw it put this way that he went from hitting singles to hitting doubles, and that's awesome. And nothing should be taken away from this guy. But MVP, does that, when you're watching him, or you're like, I'm watching the MVP of the league here? No, even eye test.
Yeah, I know all that, but I do think the quarterback on the best team always gets a lot of consideration. Purdy leads the NFL in passer rating by a mile right now. If he stays this clean, if he comes out of this Dallas game and does not throw one interception.
Well, he's only thrown I think he's thrown one pick this whole year, just like Dak.
Yeah, if they win the game and he's clean, I bet he moves up these rankings.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. We have a poll question up.
You want me to read it?
I've never been a part of a poll question like this before.
I have no idea what this poll is. Go ahead.
Yeah, you want to know?
Yes.
All right, today's show poll. When you eat calamari at a restaurant, are you aware that it might be pig's anus?
That I don't think that should be our poll, but
I got to vote no. I didn't know that until early this morning, and now I do. But,
people have to eat breakfast, Pat. What are we doing here?
Oh, I'm sorry. No interceptions for Brock Purdy. It's Dak who has one. Pardon me, everyone.
Well, look, not my fault. Jay in Nashville is the one that brought it up, or whoever was brought it up.
Yeah.
Another caller.
Jay. It was Jay.
No, he said you should eat chitlins or pig anus, and then I think
he said goat's anus.
The guy in San Francisco called and said, "Are you aware that people at restaurants use pig anus instead of calamari?"
Right. Which is illegal, by the way. You can't represent yourself as calamari and you're actually pig's butt.
Like, I feel like that would have been a major breaking story. Somebody would have had to have gotten caught at some point for doing this.
Yeah, like where's CNN on that one?
Yeah, I don't remember the FBI storming into a restaurant and being like, "This is pig, not calamari."
Don't eat it. Yeah. Well, Jay was telling us that Perloff losing the bet, having to eat the Skyline chili with no hands, which is going to happen in less than an hour. That it wasn't enough.
Yeah,
I disagree.
Is so. Listen, there's never enough for the audience when it comes to bets. They want tattoos. They want shaved eyebrows. They want the most disgusting thing possible. I think this is a pretty good bet. I think this is not going to be fun for me to do.
YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio if you'd like to watch everything going down. If not, just listen to us and you'll get the full vibe of what's going on. I can't wait to put my poncho on.
By the way, there's a legitimate amount of risk here. Eating chili with no hands, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. I could asphyxiate myself in chili if I can't get my head out of the bowl.
I mean, that would be a very odd Monday show.
It's
like, welcome to Maggie.
I could get chili in my eye. That would be not good. I mean, do we have a chemical wash around? Bilotti?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a Band-Aid around.
Yeah.
That's true. Please don't cut yourself opening that can or else we got nothing for you.
I could have severe acid reflux. I don't know. There's a lot. This is not simple. I think you guys are laughing too much and not being empathetic enough.
That'll be something. Acid reflux.
They're leading you off the cliff.
Of course.
Thankfully,
I would expect nothing else, especially from you, Boyle.
We'll be long gone by the time your acid reflux hits. So...
We do have a strangely overstocked emergency cabinet here.
That's right.
There are probably multiple things in there that could save you if necessary, but it remains odd that you think any of these things are plausible.
And we have the paddles, too. I know we have the paddles.
Yeah.
Like the defibrillator paddles?
Yeah, you have to have those.
I did a spicy wing challenge, and you should have seen the medical demands I made. I wanted an ambulance waiting outside.
And again, you were worried. Perloff was worried when he did the spicy wings that somehow he was going to inadvertently touch his eyes with the wing sauce on it.
Yeah, well, no, that was legit.
No,
that you're not supposed to do.
I know, but you don't normally go around touching your eyes.
Oh, you ever watch what's that show, Hot Ones?
Yeah.
Guys always touch their eyes because your eyes are tearing. That's when the guy gets you because if you're eating the spicy sauce, your eyes are on fire and you instinctively reach up. Now that's why I'm worried. I'm not allowed to use hands today. I'm worried that my hands are going to instinctually try to help me.
Well, I was being kind that I also didn't say when you ate the spicy wings, you were worried about getting hot sauce in your cuticles. Come on. And you didn't. You were fine.
That is not true. I don't even know what a cuticle is.
All right. Less than an hour. Perloff eats the chili with no hands. Again, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio if you want to watch. And if you are here and you are watching and you are new, we'd be so appreciative if you would just hit subscribe. So easy to do. Just hit that subscribe button and you can get updates on all the crazy, stupid stuff that we do. All right, coming up next, a lot more, including updates from last night's Bears game. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff continues next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Come here. There's one thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Eat the chili. No hands.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
do for me?
What?
Come here.
What?
Eat the chili. No hands.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining.
There's one thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Eat the chili.
30 seconds
No
remaining.
hands.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
Break ends in 5 seconds.
You can stream the NFL on Westwood One for free, sponsored by AutoZone. All season long, you can listen to every Westwood One broadcast of the NFL live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports or on the Odyssey app. Get in the zone, AutoZone. AutoZone's free battery testing and charging is available for free at your local AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. All right, now it's getting serious. I got 40 minutes until I have to eat a bowl of chili. Skyline chili, famous Cincinnati chili, with no hands I was practicing my motion. You know, it's not that hard. I'm going to look sort of like a dog eating out of a bowl. But I'm kind of curious how this is going to go. I don't think I've ever done this.
You never
Eat
done
something with no hands.
A pie eating contest or anything
No, I've never
like
done that. Or maybe apple bobbing.
Yeah. That seems in a post-COVID world, that seems like a thing we're never going to see ever again.
Yeah, there's this thing in my kids' school where they used to hang apples on a string, and you had to try to eat the apple with no hands.
Yeah.
That was really hard.
Sounds impossible.
Wait, have you done a pie eating contest? It sounds like you have some experience.
I think I'm having a memory of that.
Upstate New York? Yeah, it was a rite of passage.
Come on. It's like you can't go to kindergarten without doing one.
Yeah. Did you win?
Probably not. Knowing me. This is going to be great. I kind of want to put my poncho on right now just to get ready.
Oh, I definitely want to wear the poncho for a long time. I'm into this poncho.
Ponchos might be the ugliest form of clothing.
Yeah, are we going to put...
Sometimes it's just better to just get wet, you know? Like ponchos, it's like they just look terrible.
What about plastic on the ground? And are we going to go full American Psycho on the studio? What are we doing here?
I mean, I think you should at least do that. Underneath you, put something down over this carpet.
When did we have plastic down on this
carpet?
carpet?
Save the carpet in here.
Yeah.
This thing is...
Because it's not getting cleaned.
This thing could use a little skyline chili.
We have done that before when I had to wear a hat full of barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
We had plastic everywhere.
I have a photo of that. Hold on one second.
How old is this show?
A year and a half.
In a year and a half, you've done all of these things?
Yeah, Perloff also lost another bet. This is a drawing, a representation where he had to fill a 10-gallon hat with barbecue sauce and then put it over your head.
Well, we have this one caller, Nick in Texas, who bets us a lot of things, and somehow, Maggie, we keep losing to him.
I know. Our bad. We
Why
got
do
to
you
stop
guys
taking
keep
bets.
taking them? That's the first problem.
I don't know.
That picture, there's so many things wrong with that image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right.
Did you enjoy it as much as the picture makes it seem like
that
you
is
did?
an AI-generated picture. No, I did enjoy it. But that's one of the better-looking pictures of me. It's not a picture. It's computer-generated.
Yeah, it's like a drawing type thing.
But,
You do look like you're in some kind of blissful state.
Yeah.
Well, I did have barbecue sauce getting poured on my head. I mean, it was a pleasant sensation. It was hard to clean up, and dogs were following me all weekend.
It's just following you home.
By the way, you think that's bad? Okay, and the other debate, do I wear my glasses for the chili eating contest? And is this a health risk?
I think the glasses have to be up to you. I don't want to steer you one way and then your glasses get like seriously mangled in some way. I'd feel terrible.
But once I get chili on the glasses, how am I going to see where the bowl is?
Yeah, no glasses.
Yeah, so either way, you're not going to be able to see.
Wait, how blind are you without the glasses?
No, I can see,
Okay.
but my eyes will be filled with chili.
Ugh.
Take the glasses off.
You should have goggles.
You got all you guys wear glasses.
I should
here
have
except for me.
goggles.
Yeah, you should have goggles.
I think
Grant goggles.
I want to wear the glasses
Ooh, but why?
to protect the eyes from the acid inside the Skyline chili.
Just close your eyes when you put your face in it.
Close your eyes.
That doesn't sound funny.
Are you someone who opens up their eyes underwater, like in the pool, and then put the chlorine in?
Yeah, when you play Marco Polo or something, you have to cheat. I'm always, and my daughters always have goggles, and they're like, let's go underwater, Dad. I'm like, I'm not wearing goggles. This is gonna kill.
It's tough being a parent.
I should have brought swim goggles. Oh man.
I mean, it's New York City. Do you think we can get some delivered in a half an hour?
I mean, there's a drugstore nearby. I could just go there.
Is there a drugstore nearby?
Yeah,
Closed.
in my estimation, it's nearby. Yeah.
It is October. You think they still have swimming goggles out on the rack?
Yeah.
You're right. That's not seasonal.
There's a random rack of things, especially for that stuff. They don't care about turning over those shelves.
Yeah, that might be in clearance for sure.
Goggles? Do you think I need goggles?
No, I don't. I think you're going to be okay.
This is one bowl of chili. It's the other thing. It's not a massive amount of food here.
It's a whole bowl. It's a big bowl.
It's like a 12-ounce can.
On your long list of concerns, I think protecting your eyes is the only valid one. You're not going to drown because you'll be always able to pick yourself out of the bowl. Your cuticles are safe,
Not
but
gonna
your
drown.
eyes between spicy and hot probably should be protected here.
I don't even know. Is this kind of chili spicy? None of us have eaten here.
I think it's got to have seasoning. It's not going to be might not be spicy, but it's going to have stuff in it that might irritate your eyes.
There's definitely a lot of acid in it.
It's going to be like the Joker.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to happen in a half an hour. Again, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you can watch along. If not, Andrew Bogusch is going to provide play-by-play He's a professional at this, so we're looking forward to it. He's also got headlines this morning.
And thanks to us, everybody knows now that JT Realmuto is Jacob Tyler Realmuto. So now I'll tell you that DJ Moore is Deniston Oliver Moore Jr.
Wait, what was that first name?
Deniston.
Dennis
T-O-N.
Okay.
Oliver
College?
Moore Jr.
So he should be
that's
DOJ. He should be DOJ Moore.
No, but I think he's
Oliver.
Deniston Jr., so that's where you get the DJ.
How sweet would that be if he was DOJ Moore?
Yeah, that's amazing.
The Department of Justice.
Yeah, and
DJ Moore.
Yeah, he's gonna mete out justice.
Remember those old sports posters that would
Oh,
be
yeah, he'd be
the
at the-
mailman. It's like Karl Malone with the two dogs that are like ruff ruff.
There is a guy who wears a judge's robe in one of those Nike commercials, and I have no idea who it is.
You're right. Who's the one with the judge's robe?
All right, we'll look at that. Go on, Bogusch.
No matter what his name is, the Commanders appear to be unfamiliar with Moore on Thursday Night Football.
Snap back to Fields. Fields looking, now throwing. Got open man. DJ Moore. End zone. Touchdown. Touchdown Bears. Toasted the secondary on a 20-yard strike.
The next time they cover him will be the first time. Jeff Joniak, Bears Radio. Moore and Justin Fields just getting started with that TD. Their Bears building a 27-3 halftime lead in Washington. They won 40-20 to end their 14-game losing streak. Fields had 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to Moore, who caught 8 passes total for 230 yards.
It was just fun. Football is fun out there playing a kids game, at the end of the day. And I just looked at it that way. Tonight was just the stars aligned.
This is Chicago's first win since last October 24th, and it came a few hours after the team announced the passing of Hall of Famer Dick Butkus. The Commander losing streak grows to 3. That's 2 blowouts with Sunday's OT loss in Philly in between. I think this is math. The Eagles only beat the Commanders by 3 points. It was a 20-point win for the Bears last night, which means Chicago would beat Philly by 17.
I did that math in my head, too. I said that to Maggie this morning. I'm like, what does this game say associative property-wise for my Eagles? It's not good.
The Bills still have not fully listened to Maggie's advice. Von Miller did fly to London after practicing without issue yesterday and Wednesday. Head coach Sean McDermott said this morning, no decision yet on Miller making his season debut Sunday morning against the Jaguars. Von is 11 months removed from a torn ACL. Another story to update, Joel Embiid has decided to play for the U.S. in the Paris Olympics next summer. He was also considering his native Cameroon and France, where he also holds citizenship.
That stunned me. I was stunned about that.
Why? He wants to pick a winner, right?
I know, but I thought he was proud of his Cameroonian
ancestry.
I think he is. I don't think Cameroon is qualified.
Okay.
They haven't qualified yet, and I think they were concerned that they weren't going to. I think there's 4 teams left to qualify or something. I don't know how.
So
I know.
what does the French part play into it? How's he French?
France is in because they're hosting.
I know, but how's he French?
Is Cameroon aligned with France?
Yeah.
Or an island, or not an island.
What are you,
territory?
Former, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, does Joel Embiid start on the Olympic team? Does anybody know the lineup here?
I mean, my assumption is he negotiated all of those things before saying yes.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean, you'd think.
And when he negotiated, you mean with LeBron?
Or with Grant
Is
Hill?
LeBron
He's technically in charge?
Wait, who's that?
Does Grant get to sit in those conversations?
Oh, right. Grant Hill's ahead of
Or
it.
Steve Kerr is the coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know who's running this show right now.
It's LeBron.
LeBron is making calls. He's bringing Curry. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I don't know. I feel like this might get in the way of LeBron's offseason fantasy football homework because LeBron seems like he's the number 1 NFL guy now, making picks. He's doing stuff for Thursday night games.
I feel like LeBron doesn't want to miss anything. Like he's going to be, I think he's going to want to play at the next Olympics too. He just feels like he's into everything right now.
He's going to want to coach in 28.
Yeah, that could be.
That could be
So
on the
many
table.
different phrases.
One other Embiid thing, of course, he is now having James Harden at training camp. How's that going so far?
It's been good. He's been, doing a little bit of stuff. He hasn't played, but energy has been great. He's been around, and I think he's great for us. So.
The Athletic says Harden is partaking in camp to avoid losing money like Ben Simmons did during his staring contest with the Sixers, and because Harden thinks a trade to the Clippers remains possible. LA is looking around apparently for more draft capital to offer to the Sixers.
You can tell he's lying because his voice goes up a little bit. It's like, how is he? He's like, he's good.
It's good.
His voice got high.
So ridiculous.
It's like, that's whenever you're lying, it's like, did you eat the cookies? No. It's very obvious.
And also, Embiid's voice is so deep. When he goes high, you notice it.
You ever see I Love You, Man?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
movie? Hey, his voice got high.
Yeah.
The Big Ten unveiled its latest football scheduling format yesterday, the latest tweak needed because of Oregon and Washington following USC and UCLA. Because it has to have a name, they are calling it Flex Protect 17. There are 12 protected matchups that will be played every season, including, thankfully, Rutgers, Maryland.
That's at noon. I'll tell you that right now. Noon Eastern for sure.
But I've read the list of these 12 protected matchups 14 times, and I don't see Penn State. Penn State has no apparent annual rival that they need to play every year.
Whew, that's interesting. I mean, I've never felt like Penn State fit in the Big Ten. Pitt is their big rival, right?
Yeah.
Going back in the day.
But there's not one make-believe Big Ten school that they'd have to play every year just to have some weird trophy or bragging rights or something up there.
Ohio State, no? I thought that's their big game.
But it never was. There's no tradition there.
Yeah. And also, they don't call it anything.
Right.
Also, Ohio State's so focused on Michigan, and Michigan's so focused on Ohio State. Yeah, I don't know. I'm from Pennsylvania, and nothing jumps to mind. Maybe Maryland. I mean, you got to protect Penn State, Maryland.
But how does Rutgers, Maryland make the cut? But there's nothing
Markets.
that involves Penn State?
They're like, we want D.C. and New York market.
No, they want to make sure that they get those two. They don't want to waste good games on them. So like, let's make them play each other every year so we
they're
can have
taking them off
good
the
matchups.
table. That's smart. I like that.
Who are the protected? Are the Western teams protected against each other, Bogusch?
Let me pull that back up.
Yeah, I would imagine the USC and Oregon.
So I mean, yes. Yeah. So yeah. The two
UCLA,
Pac-12 groups split off. USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington will always play every year, and then the traditional Big Ten schools, because all of those games have names. Those are all protected too. Iowa, Minnesota. They'll all keep playing.
Is that partly to a travel thing too? You want the West. You don't want USC playing Rutgers that often.
Do you think anyone cares about the travel at this point? I mean, they have gutted and butchered college football. Like, the last thing anyone was cared about is having to go cross country. It's worse for the other sports. Like, you don't play a volleyball game, USC against Maryland on a Wednesday when you should probably be even thinking about going to school.
I know. And who's paying for that trip, by the way? That sounds like probably the football program.
Yeah, the football program, the TV rights, the collective.
Well, there's no TV rights for that volleyball match.
No, I'm saying the TV rights the football gets.
I mean, there were a lot of think pieces about this. Clearly, the football should break off into their own conferences for that very reason that you mentioned. And the other sports should stay regional. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense for all these other sports to fly all around the country. No, it's stupid.
And everybody assumes we're going to get there, especially once all of these ADs see what it costs to fly all the other teams around.
Yeah.
That they're going to go, this is ridiculous. So why can't we just get to there now? Like, let's just forget the next 5 years of learning that this is dumb, assume it's dumb now.
Fast forward.
And let the Pac-12 schools stay there and play every other sport together, but let football come wherever it wants to go.
College moves so slowly. College sports move so slowly. It takes them forever to get to common sense. For like decades.
Billy Epler stepped down as Mets GM yesterday, maybe because he's reportedly under MLB investigation for misusing the IL. That would include stashing healthy players on the list to add somebody else to the roster.
He should be investigated for trying to trot out Daniel Vogelbach day after day. Because that guy sucks.
That was the other story from the New York Post yesterday. There were 2 Epler hit pieces from the Post. That was the first one that he and Buck Showalter had argued over Daniel Vogelbach's spot on the Mets roster.
I'll LOL Mets all day, but every general manager uses the IL to stash healthy players, every single one. And if you're not doing that, then you're a crappy general manager.
Right, which is why nobody believes that this is exactly why he's leaving, and people want to know who was the snitch that told somebody at MLB that he was doing it to make them have some kind of investigation here.
I think
Buck Showalter.
Maybe Buck. The only way that this story matters is about Shohei Ohtani, because Epler was the GM of the Angels. He's the one that convinced, or Ohtani at least was cool with him going to the Angels, even though Ohtani wanted to be on the West Coast and had to go to an American League team. Anyway, that's the only thing that I worry about with this.
And I thought when Steve Cohen said, next year doesn't matter, or we're going to compete for them the road, that was him already knowing they were not going to get Ohtani, that they had no chance at him. So he felt comfortable saying that they're going to try to build for future years. So I'm not sure how much Epler's exit's going to matter if they already know that there's just zero chance of Ohtani coming here.
He's probably going to the Dodgers.
I'm not sure how much Epler would have helped the cause. I mean, he would have helped, but I mean, if the
he wasn't going to be a tiebreaker.
But if Steve Cohen's going to give him $600 million, he's going to come here.
Yeah, it's going to be the most. It's going to be I bet it's probably going to be the most money, especially now with the Tommy John, the second or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
now you've had 2 massive elbow surgeries. I'm taking as much money as I possibly
I don't
can.
think Ohtani's going for the most money. I mean, because
Joe Burrow?
he gets so much. Yeah, I know. I'll lose it on a bet. Well, I'd rather eat.
What do you want to eat?
I'd rather eat
romaine?
sushi.
Tacos you could eat.
Yeah, I'll eat sushi. I just
No
think that he's going to make so much money off the field anyway. I mean, millions and millions and millions. And $500 million. How's he even going to spend that? Why would?
Well, that's never the point.
Say
right?
he wanted to be in L.A. Maybe he preferred L.A. to New York. Would $30 million out of a $600 million deal or $500, would that pull him to the Mets?
I don't know. I mean, it's not us, and I'm never going to be offered that kind of, generational type of money. $30 million is still a lot.
That's a whole other level of your fan, like a whole other generation that doesn't have to work.
But it's less than 1% of your salary. I mean, it's not a lot to Shohei Ohtani. Think of how much he makes in marketing. I can't imagine.
I know, but he's also, I'm going to sound like Boomer Esiason for a second, the taxes in California and New York. I mean, they're taking
right.
Uncle Sam's taking a huge chunk of
Yeah.
that. How's he going to have any left over to live?
Well, it's not like
This is Boomer Esiason.
Yeah.
It's going to be eating gas station sushi, whatever with the rest of us.
Well, I was going to say, if the Rays and the Marlins could get their act together, I'm sure you'd go. Look at them.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Love
the
to go
tax
to Florida.
reasons.
Yeah.
Does Nashville have a team yet? No.
Anything else, Bogues?
No, I'm ready for chili.
Aren't we all?
By the way, I found the Nike poster. It's 1977. It is 12 All-Stars wearing judges' robes, and it says the Supreme Court. So I guess it's a play off of Court, and like all old Nike posters, it's awesome.
Of course it is. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. All right, see you guys. It's starting to grow here in the YouTube chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. We're going to be putting the ponchos on soon. Perloff's going to get his bowl full of spaghetti and Skyline chili, and then he's going to eat that bad boy head first. No hands. There we go. Again, 855-212-4CBS. We get to our pal Deion Sanders in just a moment. We check in with our daily Deion. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break.
There's one thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Eat the chili. No hands.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
There's one thing I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Eat the chili. No hands.
What are we waiting for? Take this!
Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Mornings here on CBS Sports Radio. Get to one of the big games for the weekend in just a moment. Today is one of those days. One of those days around here. You'll get to know him soon. Perloff paying off a bet today. He's got to eat Skyline chili with no hands. He lost a bet to me. If you want to watch that, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. It's going to happen about 12 minutes from now. If you can't get to YouTube, that's fine. Our CBS Sports Radio affiliates, we've got you covered with all the play-by-play. Okay, let's get to the most fascinating quarterback in the NFL.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
Well, probably keeping tabs on his team as they fly to Denver to take on the Broncos. Now, normally the Broncos and Jets would not be an interesting game at all because both these teams are, quite frankly, pretty bad. But in training camp, Sean Payton said that Nathaniel Hackett may have been the worst coach in the history of the NFL, and that's when Rodgers stood up for his guy.
It made me feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure that they have to take another man down to set themselves up for some sort of easy fall if it doesn't go well for that team this year. I thought it was way out of line, inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coach's names out of his mouth.
And you know what? Rodgers actually kind of prescient there of what Sean Payton was trying to do because it hasn't gone well for the Denver Broncos. And I think a lot of people are pointing to the fact that the Broncos had a long way to go because Hackett was so bad.
Well, let's be fair, though. And by the way, I apologize. I'm a little late here. We had a chili incident.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
But let's be fair. The problem with Denver is the defense. The offense has actually been okay, and Hackett was responsible for the offense. So I don't blame this all on Sean Payton. I think it would have been worse if the offense was just terrible. With Sean Payton, an offensive genius, then it'd be a total disaster in Denver. But I see a silver lining in how well Russell Wilson's played.
Okay. I think this is all part of a karmic meltdown that is happening to Sean Payton because he broke a cardinal rule in coaching. You never call out another coach like that. You can have coaching beefs a little bit. Guys meet at the 50-yard line. They don't want to shake hands. But you call out another coach and say he's doing a terrible job. I think that's bad karma, and it's all coming back around on Payton. And if you lose to Zach Wilson and the Jets, then my theory is basically ironclad.
Is that a thing? I never knew that was one of your rules. Don't call out another coach.
I think it's pretty standard.
I don't know. I feel like there's coaching feuds out there.
There are, but this one seemed like such like Sean Payton from the top rope. Like, you have beef with Nathaniel Hackett? Like, why? You could have kept all that in house.
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like you ripped Nathaniel Hackett pretty good.
Well, I mean, I'm allowed to because I was watching a lot of crap last
year. Yeah.
I'm also not taking over for the job that he once had. I wouldn't come in and be like, geez, that last, radio show was terrible. Like, I wouldn't do something like that. It's bad form.
No, you're right. And this is not
DA
you.
was awesome, so we got very lucky. We got to follow him.
There was this thing in the media recently where Rodney Harrison was on NBC, and he asked Chris Jones to call Zach Wilson garbage, the Jets quarterback.
Well, he called him garbage.
He called him
kind of wanted Chris Jones to pile on. And
wanted to confirm. But anyway, everyone in New York's like, how could you call Zach Wilson garbage? I'm like, have you listened to the radio in New York for 2 years? That's all you people have been calling him. Yeah. So anyway, then they got mad at Rodney Harrison. There's just a lot of feelings in this game, and it's going to be totally awesome. It is going to be. This is maybe the most emotional game of the season, right?
I know Devontae Adams playing his former team. No one even cares. It's like he's playing the Packers this Monday Night Football. Who cares? You said you had a chili incident.
So we are preparing the chili for the chili challenge coming up next. 1 can is not enough.
Is that right?
I have to get the spaghetti to chili ratio right, so we're putting a second can of Skyline chili in there.
Who says this guy's not a legend?
Because
he calls for a second can. He doesn't even hesitate. Just opens up a second can.
Now. Yeah, because it was too much spaghetti. Do I have to eat the whole thing? That was the big question. Because I put a second can, that's like 800 calories. I mean, this body.
Calories on this thing?
Yes.
No.
You're not leaving anything left.
That's right.
I think you got to go the full thing. And I think you should just be glad that it actually is just spaghetti and chili at this point, because we've gotten an education this morning on some other body parts of animals you could be eating this morning. And like now the chili seems rather quaint.
Well, that being said, you never know what's in chili.
Oh, that's true.
Different pig body parts.
We found out this morning it's possible every time you eat calamari, you could be eating pig's anus. That's a thing that we learned today.
A little behind the scenes, Maggie tried to help me in the last break. She said, you don't want to heat it up because that's going to be really dangerous. And I said, well, who wants to eat cold chili, though? So it is now being heated up.
Yeah, Perloff's like, I'm going to need this nice and warm. I'm like, to put your face in it?
No, I mean, I want the cheese to melt.
Okay, but you could burn yourself. Now I'm worried about you.
#warrior.
I know. 2 cans. Just put in his face in a hot bowl of chili.
2 cans, second-degree burns.
Yeah, trip to the hospital. Boom, here we go.
Bellotti has no idea where the chemical eye wash is.
I know. And you call yourself our union rep. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Again, if you want to watch this, it's not mandatory because Andrew Bogusch will be providing play-by-play, and he's a pro. But if you would like to watch this all go down, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you can find us. And if you are in there, and we say good morning to everyone, if you'd be so kind as to hit subscribe, we'd be so thankful. How you feeling?
A little nervous now.
Got your poncho?
A little worried about the visuals that are going to be on the internet afterward.
Well, it's way too late for that. Coming up next, Perloff versus a bowl of chili. No hands allowed. Come on in and watch. See you in a sec.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
She once fell off a ski lift. He was called in for questioning. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
It's all happening this morning. Andrew Perloff paying off a major bet in just a matter of moments. He lost a bet to me, so he has to eat a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands. Dallas 49ers, Cotton Bowl, Texas, Oklahoma,
Red River rivalry.
Everything takes a backseat right now to Perloff eating chili. We'll get back to the sports in just a little bit. If you want to watch this go down, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you can find us. And if you'd be so kind as to hit subscribe, we would be so thankful.
Tell them where the chili is right now, Maggie.
Well, the chili is currently in the fridge because we've got so much help this morning and so many hands on this that Andrew Kaplan was melting cheese on the chili and it just got a little too hot. Now Perloff is putting on his poncho. I shouldn't be doing the play-by-play here. Andrew BOGUSCH is here to provide play-by-play of this Very important and seminal moment here on the Maggie and Perloff Show.
And it is an honor to be here for this, your 74th bet payoff on show 72. It's a heck of a ratio.
Let me get my poncho on. Excuse me.
Yes. Is yours also the bright yellow that Andrew's is?
Of course it is.
Okay, hood on for Mr. Perloff. He has cleared his desk of all important paraphernalia, computer and whatnot.
I feel like these ponchos are a bit overkill. Like, we're ready to go clean nuclear waste here. It's just a bowl of chili. I don't know why we both need ponchos.
I also want to point out how carefully and delicately Maggie put hers on while you sat there for like 3 minutes, ruffling, crinkling, fighting it over your head.
Okay.
You guys both look wonderful. We going to Niagara Falls? Is this what's happening right now?
We're on a class trip to the Maid of the Mist, and somehow Perloff's face is going to end up in a bowl of chili. That's just what happens here on Maggie and Perloff Show. We are capping off our first week as a morning show with Perloff paying off this massive bet.
So our guy Kaplan pulled the sound, the original bet. I, for some reason, promised to drive to Cincinnati to eat the Skyline chili. So I'm actually not even paying off the full bet. I don't know why I did that.
Get the keys.
Which would have been easier, to drive to Cincinnati and eat with a fork and a knife, or to do this?
We're about to find out.
So you have two problems here. The first one is you say yes to too many bets.
Yes.
And the second problem is you say yes to preposterous ways, or you suggest preposterous ways to pay them off.
Well, did you hear what happened in hour one? Someone called in and said we don't go far enough and said I have to start eating grosser foods.
Oh, I was here for that. Pick your nose.
Oh yeah, it was
Okay.
eat goat's anus, or don't pick your nose for 2 days and then pick out, or don't blow your nose for 2 days and then pick the biggest booger and eat that.
On camera.
Our listeners are diabolical. That's Jay in Nashville. He's on another level. All right. Thank you, Andrew Kaplan. The bowl has arrived. Can I feel how warm it is? Oh, wait, I'm stuck.
The white bowl that has been put in front of Perloff.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. We also have some plastic. Our boss is here, Spike Eskin, the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. Say the name. Thank you, Spike.
Smartly, the boss is putting on all protective gear.
Ironically, the boss is also vegan, so I'm sure this is lovely for you to think about chili from a can.
Well, Spike's the only one who's
killing God's children.
Thank you, boss.
There are few rules in this building, but one of them is don't mess with the equipment.
Right. Spike has to worry about the other hosts who use this studio who will be complaining about the chili smell.
Yeah, if you want to sell heinous anus cheesesteaks, be his guest, but don't get a drip of the chili on our Formica counter.
I'm telling you, with the anus, end with the anus. The merch on heinous anus. We are going to be millionaires, guys.
I'm looking at this bowl of chili with melted cheese. I don't know how this is going to work. How am I going to consume this?
That is a you problem,
There's
man.
too much cheese.
It's very soupy, too. I don't see any chili or noodles.
So Skyline chili is famously like soup. I'd heard that. Our friend Boomer Esiason had told me that. It really is soup. There's nothing to grab onto here. This is an impossible task.
You can't even see the spaghetti.
All right.
Okay, are we all set?
I'm ready.
Bogusch just put an umbrella up. Are we all set here? Everyone in their places? All right, Bogusch, I'm going to hand it over to you for some play-by-play.
Maggie, thank you again for having me. It is an odd shade of brown and orange, and there seems to be a blood-like red substance in the nearest corner to Perloff. The melting cheese in a microwave did not go well. It's more like curdled cheese on top of the brown liquid. Somewhere underneath is pasta, also cooked in a microwave.
How am I going to get to the pasta?
I don't know, but next time we do this, which will probably be next Wednesday, we should go like full crock pot and like really cook this.
So we put in one can, and Kaplan said that, who was helping me with this, said that one can didn't look like enough on camera. There's too much chili here.
There's just too much liquid.
It melted. Okay, here I go.
So here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
He has prepared himself. Hands are safely underneath.
I can't believe he's keeping the
this
glasses
is for
on.
selfish Joe Burrow.
Glasses have to come off.
Who wanted
here.
all the money and therefore have to eat chili.
Take the frames off.
He doesn't have his headphones in.
Leaving them on.
Yes.
Glasses staying on for protection. He wiggled his gullet to open it up, leaning in, nose first, mouth is open. Oh, there's tongue contact with the cheese. He is very delicately breaking the film. We get our first look. Orange.
Too much cheese.
Orange is the color of Skyline chili on your face. Oh, this is a deeper dive. There is juice cascading off his nose.
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah, you want some?
Not now. We have combined the nose picking payoff with now the chili eating payoff. This is getting progressively deeper. Flaunting.
I gotta get to the spaghetti.
Glasses are still fine.
Those glasses are bound to
Now
get
I'm going
wet.
to do a deep dive. I got to hold my breath. I'm going for the spaghetti.
You are flirting with your fear of drowning in this, and it's definitely on the table based on the liquid ratio here. Oh, wait. 2 deep breaths. He is all the way in. Oh, we have spaghetti. He has found the pasta.
Oh, my God.
That is how you eat chili.
Glasses submerged.
Glasses are covered.
Come on, Maggie, jump in here. There's plenty of chili to go around.
God.
You know, again, a long list of concerns. One of them was not the Skyline chili actually changing the color of your skin, but I feel like it is now me staining your face. Another big bite.
Gosh.
Oh, that's a lot of pasta.
You're really getting in there.
It's really good. You know what? I am a little. I'm sure this doesn't look great, but I'm having a delicious experience.
Wow. Bogusch is doing play-by-play and videoing with his phone at the same time.
Yeah, I'll move my mic closer to here.
Wait.
I don't know why I didn't.
There we go.
Slurping sound.
Good slurping.
The orange tint of this on your face and it's perfectly going right down the middle. It's like a Bizarro Braveheart face paint.
All right.
All right.
Do a big
How about
dive,
it?
right? Ready? Here I go.
Oh,
So
having to break the film of the melted cheese every time can't be fun. Oh, you are. I mean,
it's so unappetizing to watch you eat it this way. No hands. You're doing a great job of keeping your hands behind your back, which I know is a concern for you.
And your face is a disaster, but the rest of the space is fine. You're somehow eating this
It's kind of
politely.
I've taken 20 bites and I've made no dent on this. This is the biggest bowl of chili in the history of the world.
I mean,
Oh,
my God.
that was a full open mouth tongue scoop of pasta.
How else is he going to do it? He's got no hands.
He's got a system now.
He does. You are being surprisingly clean and neat. Not your face, but the poncho was a great choice.
You know what? This is.
Don't look at me, please.
You're gonna think I'm making this up. I'm having a problem.
What's
the
that?
Chili's getting into my nose.
Maggie's going in. She's getting closer.
I'm not saying I'm having trouble breathing, but I'm like this is yeah.
Ready?
This is friendship. Oh, it's like he's a 4-year-old, and
phew.
Maggie just said, "Here, blow your nose."
I basically was Maggie's 4-year-old son right there.
Yeah, big bowl of shit for a D.
I'm not saying anyone's having
Here
trouble
comes the
breathing.
airplane.
Okay. All right, that's good. I need more.
I definitely don't need to see you tongue kissing a bowl of chili anymore. Oh, our first rip of pasta. That I think the screen behind you might have taken some of the shrapnel for the first time.
Wow. If you are watching us on youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio and you're in the chat, please hit subscribe. Don't make this be for nothing. Perloff is facing chili.
This would be challenging to eat with a spoon, by the way. This is very filling chili. All right, I'm going to go a big deep dive. I got to make some headway into this. Give me a minute here.
Yeah.
This is the time to step back. Oh, the jaw opening as wide as possible. I hope you're at the bottom of the bowl at this point. You've never been deeper.
I mean, throw in the towel.
I think you've done enough.
This is my friend we're talking about. I'm starting to feel bad.
I'm just an observer, but
I'm going to finish it.
You're going to finish the whole thing?
How? How are you going to finish it? There's so much. Oh, my.
Oh, now we're making noises as we gobble up. Oh, now it's over. Chili just fell out of his left nostril. Ring the bell, throw in the towel.
I can't breathe.
It's done. It's done. It's got to be over.
One more bite.
Made some love to that chili.
I'm actually kind of.
You did it.
He did it. Like a professional.
Maggie, I need the nose thing again.
Mom! Don't use your arm.
We need an Adrian.
He did it. Ladies and gentlemen, a living legend, a man walking, immortal walking amongst us, Andrew Perloff. Congratulations. That was awesome. Well done. How do you feel?
I don't feel so good right now. I don't know. Something feels off.
Yeah, you're just eating chili at 9 o'clock in the morning
down.
in the
No,
East Coast.
I think I ingested some in my nasal passage.
Oh, no.
Like, this is all kinds of bad things are happening right now.
Now we've gone and done it. You did great, though. That is bet paid off forever and ever. Well done.
Gonna have a chiliated
Oh
septum.
my gosh.
Do we have anybody?
There were so many things that could have been done better there. Why is there so much cheese on this chili?
I don't know, because it's, you wanted extra sharp cheddar, and there you go.
That was
awesome.
That was wild.
That was unlike anything I've ever been a part of in my entire life. I got to be honest, that was great.
Do we have a friend in Cincinnati that would actually ask Joe Burrow about this after practice today?
Yeah, well, Joe, why'd you do this to me?
If he feels bad that he made you look like this.
If you'd only taken $400,000 less, it would have been me.
Maggie, if it was you, you saw me do it, do you think you could have done that?
I don't think so. Actually got to the bottom of that bowl. I never thought you'd be able to do it.
I can't really see you right now because
Chili-covered glasses.
Chili-covered glasses. You were worried about the glasses getting scratched. I think they're okay. This is a very liquidy chili. The problem is definitely my nose, like everything inside.
There's something in there.
My sinuses are burning right now.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, listen, you paid off your bet. A Perloff always pays his debts, and you did it today.
It was delicious. It was good. I know there are some critics of Skyline chili. It is great. I highly recommend it as long as you use silverware.
That's a great life hack. Bogusch, fantastic job on the play-by-play as well.
I'm very impressed. Judging by the ring of chili on the bowl, you got half of that out.
You really ate a lot of it.
Getting to the spaghetti was the big part. Once you got in there, there's something to hold on to, an anchor, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will.
And then it got easy.
He's got a whole technique. He's breaking down the analytics.
Yeah, I mean, he was in there, jaw opening and closing like almost like one of those like a little pretend thing in the sand to pull ups in like the sandbox. You did a good job.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's not like a tractor, like a backhoe, but I remember like playing with it. It had like a handle, and you could it would almost like a skill crane would drop down, pick up some sand, move it around.
Excavator?
And you had yeah, like an excavator. Yeah.
Perloff,
Okay, you
dynamite. I mean, just beautiful.
Yeah.
The fact that you have done this, you've created this moment for yourself and our show. I mean, selfless, just icon is what he is.
You guys, excuse me. I am going to run to the restroom. I will see you guys in 5 minutes after the break.
Perloff's going to go clean himself up. Wow. Beautifully executed by everyone, but really Perloff gets the credit here.
The only thing I think that was missing was a finisher move, teeth bite the bowl, and sort of lift the bowl and try to just chug it.
I know, but this is a huge bowl. This is like a massive spaghetti bowl, right?
Too heavy for his jaw?
I don't think he would have been able to do it. Plus, he had 2 cans of chili in there and like half a box of pasta. This is the real deal. So I think that we have now established, I know that Jay in Nashville wanted us to up the ante on this bet. I think we've established that we go pretty hard on these things. When we do it, we don't half-ass anything around here. We never mail it in on the Maggie and Perloff show.
My only hope is that Kaplan's cameras caught the chunk of something falling out of his nose, because you're going to need that video for forever.
I think I trust in Kaplan.
And
Wow.
Maggie, no mess. I mean, almost no mess.
It's crazy. There's like literally one tiny little splash. How he did this and was able to do it so cleanly.
Yeah, really was graceful and elegant.
It's amazing.
He's in here now.
My
How
two
you feel
kids.
Feel
Down.
like thumbs down.
down.
Okay. Wow. I'm impressed. I'm so surprised.
I'm very impressed. And I'm disappointed that I can't try it after his whole face had been in there.
We got more cans
good.
for you in the back. Thank you to everyone who's watching now. Again, if you'd be so kind as a hit subscribe, it's so easy right there. We get to do all these fun things as long as we keep the audience growing. So thank you so much. Thank you again, Bogusch, Perloff. This was really fun. We still have a lot more to do, though. We have our celebrity NFL picker coming up next. 5 games chosen by our celebrity friends. We have our own NFL picks to get to as well. What a way to punctuate the first week here on the morning show on CBS Sports Radio. Don't move. Perloff back in a moment. This show is sponsored in part by BetterHelp, who I'm sure is thrilled to be associated with what just happened over the last 10 minutes. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in its own way? Like, you know what you should do, what's good for you, but you just can't do it. Therapy helps you figure out what's holding you back so you can work for yourself instead of against yourself. Sometimes it's just a matter of talking things out so you can get a better understanding of what might be standing in your way, even if that's you. You know, we've all been through some unpredictable times over the past few years. It's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MNP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MNP.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Whoa. Welcome back to the show. Wow. Andrew Perloff just ate a bowl of Skyline chili with no hands, and there are so many amazing things about what you just did. Number one, you didn't get a drop basically anywhere in the studio. How did you do that so cleanly?
Well, did you see all the plastic that was underneath the bowl? That was disgusting.
No, but it wasn't even that bad. You did that very cleanly.
It was a big bowl. The key to doing this kind of challenge is have a big bowl so the splatter is inside the bowl. The problem, honestly, and I was joking about drowning in there.
Yeah.
The problem is it gets in your nasal passage, so you have to breathe through your mouth, and there's still chili up there.
Oh my gosh, you got chili
I'm
in
gonna
your
be
brain.
sneezing chili. Yes. Yeah. If you did an MRI right now, there'd be chili floating around.
We just don't want you to get hooked, start snorting things. And
if I ever have to do this again, there's a lot of things I do differently.
want to name them?
Less chili, less cheese. The cheese, that was basically a cheese challenge too. And that chili is very rich, very, very rich for 8 in the morning.
Is there such thing as light chili?
I guess not. Spicy chili would have been, I'd be dead right now. I'd be a dead man.
Man, I'm just so impressed. I think everyone in the chat, YouTube, just applause for Andrew Perloff because that was something.
Thank you.
And we will take a breather now a little bit. We've got to welcome in our celebrity friend. We're doing celebrity NFL picks all throughout the season. We've had Rob Corddry and Robert Wool and Patrick Renna from Sandlot. Who am I forgetting? Somebody.
Oh, Jerry Ferrara.
And Jerry Ferrara. Today we welcome in our friend and amazing comedian, Mark Ellis is good enough to join us. Mark, oh boy, I don't know if you witnessed any of that chili stuff.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the chili before we have to talk about my stupid football team because I finally realized why they call it the Cincinnati chili, and that's because if you eat it with your hands behind your back, your face looks like you painted it as a Bengals fan. Congratulations, Andrew, on accomplishing something that none of us literally have ever even dreamed about.
Yeah, Mark, what's worse, actually, having to watch the Commanders last night or having to eat a bowl of chili with no hands, considering you're a lifelong Washington fan?
Y'all know how much I love my squad. Like, if I could have had 10 bowls of that chili and we eke out a win last night, I would have taken it. It was, it wasn't as painful as it would have been had the tragic news of earlier the day not broken out, because as soon as we got the word that Dick Butkus had passed away at age 80, one of the great players of all time, me and all my Washington friends on text chains were like, we might be in trouble here. It felt weird the rest of the night. And the way we came, I've never seen my team, and my team has had some bad seasons, some horrible games. I've never seen us come out both flat and tight. The Washington Commanders could take a cue out of Andrew Perloff's book because you attacked that chili the way I thought we were going to attack the Bears last night.
Wait, Mark, by the way, what do you think of Magic Johnson being a part owner of the team and putting tweets out like last night saying the team was flat? This has got to be, I think this is a downside to have Magic tweeting about the Commanders.
Because he can't lie or sugarcoat.
Yeah,
his tweets are just basically being the Associated Press, and he just described it perfectly. He said, you guys stunk last night.
Yeah, I don't want this to become like a Jerry Jones situation where it's like, let's see what Magic has to say after every game.
Too late.
But, I actually liked that Magic tweeted what he did last night because somebody had to say it, and I don't want Magic to necessarily stop there. I'd like to promote Magic Johnson to defensive coordinator if that's possible. I don't know if he has a lot of expertise in that area, but I think it's time for Jack to maybe take a back seat to Magic.
I honestly, Mark, if Mark Ellis is joining us, of course, his new hour special, Alive and Well, it's available at All Things Comedy. He's on a comedy tour right now. He's our celebrity friend making celebrity NFL picks today. We'll get to those in a second. But Mark, Ron Rivera, is the only reason he's hanging on to the job is because the owner has been so dysfunctional? They just needed a warm body in there to see you through?
Ron Rivera has been through so much with this organization that I feel like he has gotten a pass up to this point, deservedly so. He battled cancer successfully. Yeah. He got to ring the bell. That was so inspiring for the city. He was able to navigate a team and make us competitive through the end of the Dan Snyder era. So I give him a ton of credit for that. But last night, I've seen a lot of fans that are, let's say, less optimistic than me say he should have been fired long ago. I still don't think it's time to fire Ron Rivera, but I think that you do need to take a hard look in the mirror and say, why are we coming out so flat in these games? Because we could have had Philly. Buffalo, that's a different story. But we definitely could have had the Bears last night. And so I feel like if we just played 4 quarters, then we're one of the better teams in the NFL. And I haven't been drinking that much this morning.
Hey, Mark, if you're on tour right now, maybe you could do a video in your act where you actually show Washington trying to cover DJ Moore last night, because that was high comedy.
It was. I literally am going to have nightmares about them. Obviously, I haven't gone to bed yet. I've just been pacing and wondering what I'm doing with my team and my life at this point. But I'm going to have a lot of nightmares about double moves from DJ Moore. By the way, what a name. Why are we not calling him the Department of Justice?
There you go.
Oh, it's such a miss, right? I mean, he could have so many marketing campaigns. It'd be cool. It'd be cool if he played for the Commanders right in D.C. and the Department of Justice. Like, then you're really onto something.
And after last night, make the deal, baby. Let's get him. Look, the world has plenty of DJs. We don't need another wedding DJ. We need more Department of Justice. We need a government that actually works. DJ Moore, come to Washington.
There you go. Okay, Mark Ellis is with us. He's our celebrity friend making celebrity picks. Mark, before we get to that, just one thing I've always been curious about, comedians, when you guys are on tour, like, what are the best things about being on tour as a comedian, and what's the worst thing about being on tour?
Best thing about being on tour is I love traveling. I actually love planes. I love hotels. I love getting to try the local fare like a Skyline chili when I'm working at the Cincinnati Funny Bone. The only downside to touring right now is that I have a beautiful 16-year-old Beagle Boston Terrier. You all know Molly the Wonder Dog, so she can't travel with me. So I miss her dearly when I'm on the road, but she's got great care with her mom and folks back in LA. And so I get a lot of videos and I get a lot of pictures and I get a lot of texts that she's doing well. So I miss my baby, but I love telling jokes to people.
So you're doing a tour now. You're going to be in New York next week. I was reading the ticket at the New York Comedy Club. You're going to be with our friend Jen Sturger.
Jen Sturger is going to be on the bill. Ken Knapsack, a great comic who's just releasing his next album coming up. So Jen and I go way back. We met at the Comedy Store, I think probably over a decade ago. And whenever we can work together, we get a kick out of it. So New York Comedy Club, October 12th and 13th.
The one thing I always wonder about when you're working in LA is, like, if you have a bit where you're making fun of celebrities and then they happen to show up. It's like, I've got something about Kim Kardashian, then like all of a sudden she just drops into the Comedy Store on a Tuesday.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
We've had so many different celebs like in LA comedy clubs before. I think the biggest at the time, folks that I ever had, I was at the Laugh Factory years ago when Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez were an item. And I was killing down here. And then there's like a little thin rafter above at the Laugh Factory on the second floor. And boom, right there, I see Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. And I'm like, it made me nervous. And then I got mad that I was nervous because they're like half my age and they're intimidating me.
So, Mark, what happens? I think we've asked you about this before. When you're on the schedule at the Comedy Store or something, and Chris Rock wants to do a set, or an impromptu star comedian comes in. Is that a good thing or a terrible thing?
I think it's a great thing for the crowds. As comedians, you have your set time and you want to go up when you're supposed to go up, because most of us have multiple sets that we're running around to at night.
Okay.
And Los Angeles, it's not like New York where you just hit a subway and boom, you're at another comedy club in 2 minutes. In LA, it takes time. It takes precious, sweet time to get from one club to the next club, sit in that traffic. So we like to keep our spots on time, but it's always good for the club and it's always exciting for audiences. And as a comedian that likes a challenge, and as you know from my football team, I like the challenge. It's always fun to follow somebody who's at the top of their game and see how you measure up.
Why do things the easy way? Again, the new hour special, Alive and Well, now available at All Things Comedy. Our friend Mark Ellis is here to make some NFL picks. Let's hit the music.
Time for Celebrity Picks.
Mark, did you like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous as much as me and Perloff?
With Robin Leach, of course I did. And you can see I really took a cue from those houses because I probably look like a divorced dad with just like my one picture hanging in the background.
Yeah, we really appreciate you calling from the extended stay America that you're at. Do you have the games?
Okay, I do. I sent Mark the games. Okay, so we picked 5 games. Let's start with Bills, who are 5.5-point favorites. Maggie's Bills against the Jags. I gave you the wrong team, the Jags, in London at 9:30. And maybe, Mark, I know you have a killer British accent, so if you could give this pick with that accent, that would be great.
Cheerio, mate. The Bills of Buffalo taking on the Jaguars of Jacksonville. Although they really should be the London Jags at this point. I wanted to go with the Jags because they've actually been in jolly old England for an entire week. They played last week. Now they're just hanging out there. So you'd think they'd be more used to the terrain. There's no jet lag. However, the Jaguars have had to deal with whatever the food situation is over there for over a week, where the Bills have gotten to eat nothing but hot wings and good old American-style fare. And then they just flew in a couple days ago. Von Miller might be back. We're not sure yet. He's at least practicing. He's inspiring the team. Maggie, I think you're in good hands. These London games always get wonky, but I feel like the Bills are on a roll, and the Jags aren't stopping it. I'm taking the Bills.
Okay, what about Baltimore as a 4.5-point favorite in Pittsburgh?
I love this rivalry. It's one of my favorites in the NFL. Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL. I don't think that the Steelers put up much of a fight at home against the Ravens. They're flying too high right now. Lamar Jackson clicking on all cylinders. And Kenny Pickett's a little banged up, so I just don't know how they're going to keep up with that explosive Ravens attack. I'm taking Baltimore and the points.
Mark, you're an O's fan, right? You're an Orioles fan. So why don't you just jump on the Ravens? Just leave the Commanders and become a Ravens fan, too.
I can't do that, but I am a lifelong Orioles fan. And so just to get the stink of the Commanders game off, we play Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Set your watches. Yeah. The eyes of the Rangers are upon us, but we're taking them down. Yes, we're deviating from football for just a sec to go to the Orioles, taking the World Series back to football.
Yeah, because that's a fan base that never gets disappointed. Go ahead.
Let's go. Chiefs.
Don't do that to me.
Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite on the road to face the Vikings. Do we think Taylor Swift will be in the building, Mark?
Yeah.
I don't think Taylor Swift is going to make this one. I feel like Tay-Tay sits this one out. I think that, she's a busy gal herself, so I feel like maybe she's like, I don't necessarily feel like going to Minnesota right now. I'm going to let the boys be boys. However, this is the only team in the NFL that Patrick Mahomes has never beaten. He's never taken down the Vikings. And that ain't going to change this weekend. I think the Vikings sneak up on the Chiefs. The Chiefs just haven't quite had that offensive pop that we're used to seeing. It looks like they're missing their previous receivers like a Hardman, a Tyreek Hill. I think that the Vikings pull an upset. Kirk Cousins throwing a lot of TD passes this year. Take the Vikings in the upset.
Love it. Okay, 2 more for you. Perloff's Eagles, 4-point favorites on the road to face the Rams.
Andrew, I picked Maggie's team because I really like Maggie, and you know how much I like you.
No.
The Eagles.
I will know after this pick, Mark.
Look, the Rams are playing so well right now, and I think that the Eagles are due for a bit of a disappointment. They got threatened last week, and I just feel like there's something that is off with that. They're not quite where they were last year. It's not a Super Bowl hangover situation, but I feel like they come down to earth just a little bit. The Rams sneak it up on people. Do we have Cooper Kupp back yet? Is he going to pair up with Puka? Like, this is an exciting Rams offense to watch again. I think the Rams take them.
And last one for you. Broncos are a 2.5 favorite over the visiting New York Jets.
I love this game. And I've loved this game since training camp when the coaches had a little bit to say towards each other. It was really Sean Payton opening his big mouth. And after last week's inspiring almost win against the Chiefs, I think Zach Wilson is feeling confident, which is exactly where Jets fans do not want Zach Wilson being, because that's when he tends to get into trouble. But I feel like that Denver secondary is Swiss cheese. I think Zach Wilson can find some holes. I think that this is a Nat Hackett revenge game. Robert Saleh is going to have his troops on defense ready to play. And I would take the Jets coming into Denver and humbling Sean Payton and making him eat his words, much in the same way that Andrew Perloff takes down at Bowl Sky.
Very good. You can follow Mark at Mark Ellis Live. You can check out markellis.live for more information. The new special, Live and Well, is available at All Things Comedy. Check it out on Twitter. You can find more information. Mark's got the Orioles jersey on.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks,
Love you
buddy.
all. That's an Eddie Murray jersey, by the way. So I don't know if Eddie's taking any cuts this weekend, but we can use all the support we can get. Go O's. Have a great weekend, y'all. Congrats on the move to mornings.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark, enjoy the tour. It's going awesome so far. We cannot wait to hear more about it. You're the best. Thanks for being our celebrity NFL picker.
Love y'all.
Cool.
You
All right.
know what's funny? Mark is super funny.
Yeah.
Joke a minute. he really had some good football analysis. I was like, he was like on point right there.
Honestly, I was like writing notes.
Yeah.
Like, this is good stuff here.
Yeah, like I'm actually, we're going to do our picks in the next segment, and now I'm thinking twice about one of them.
Let's quickly get to Andrew Bogusch, who's got some headlines for us. Good morning, Bogues.
Good morning again. So did the hot seat change hands on Thursday Night Football? Matt Eberflus walked in as dead man walking, but left with a 40-20 Bears win.
Guys did a nice job of sticking together, during our adversity. And I told them the reason we could do that is because of the relationships we've built in the building. And the guys have always been tight, always been determined, and super excited about that.
That adversity included a 14-game losing streak. Justin Fields maybe criticizing the coaches, the defensive coordinator quitting midweek, and wideout Chase Claypool pouting his way off the roster. But none of that matters for now, thanks to 4 touchdown passes from Fields and DJ Moore catching 8 balls for 230 and 3 of those scores. If Ron Rivera's seat isn't hot now, it will be if his defense keeps giving up numbers like that. So what's the adjustment?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and talk about those things until we get an opportunity to break the tape down, go through the tape, sit down, talk as staff, and then go from there.
Here's the Magic Johnson tweet you guys were discussing with Mark a second ago. Quote, tonight the Commanders played with no intensity or fire. We didn't compete in the first half, got down 27-3 heading into halftime. It was too big of a hole to climb out of, and that is why we ended up losing 40-20. It's like he's the only person that saw the game.
Honestly, he's coming for your corner, Bogusch. I mean,
love
that's your position, is to tell us what happened, not Magic.
Do we think he doesn't know everyone laughs at these tweets, or is he now just kind of fueling the fire?
I think this is just his social media strategy.
No.
I think this is just him.
He's not now just doing it for us.
I think if you're Magic Johnson, even if you are a humble superstar, you're still a superstar. You have to think the world kind of revolves around you a little bit.
Right.
So he's probably thinking like, I'm giving people news right now. I'm Magic Johnson.
He was on the show, and he was pretty honest, too. Like that, I guess, like, Magic's too old. He's like, I don't care. I'm just going to go for it.
Offensively for Washington, Sam Howell threw a pick, was sacked 5 times. His team has now dropped 3 in a row. Bears legend Dick Butkus passed away yesterday at the age of 80. The team made that announcement shortly before kickoff. There's a great Deacon Jones quote being shared. He once called Butkus a well-conditioned animal. Cooper Kupp put in a full practice in L.A. yesterday, keeping him on track to make his season debut this weekend after a summer hamstring injury. The NCAA changed its mind yesterday and will now let North Carolina wideout Tez Walker play. He could debut tomorrow against Syracuse, a 2-time transfer. Walker was denied a waiver to play immediately, but the NCAA says UNC just submitted new info. Had they done that sooner, none of this drama would have happened. LeBron James said yesterday he'll skip the Lakers' preseason opener tomorrow with the Warriors, but he hopes to play in 3 of their remaining 5. And here in New York, people still trying to figure out exactly what happened yesterday with Mets GM Billy Epler. He resigned out of nowhere, saying he wanted to give new president David Stearns a clean slate, but Epler was supposed to keep working with Stearns. He is reportedly under MLB investigation for misusing the IL, but very few think that was enough for an abrupt resignation. Guys, back to you.
Do you have chili still on your face? What happened?
So I just went to wipe my eye, and I came back. It's like all oily, and like it's deep in the crevices of all parts of my face right now.
Do you still smell it? It's like up your nose.
Oh, it's definitely. I have to blow my nose for like a half an hour. That's so gross. I'm sorry, but that's the reality of eating chili with no hands.
What if you stumble upon some kind of new like face routine where
my
skincare?
I'm glowing. Yes, that'd be amazing.
That'll be the next Neutrogena project.
Yeah,
Perloff's face just smothered in
a Skyline face
chili.
mask.
It's like, wow, you look 10 years younger.
Yeah. Oh, I've been eating chili with no spoon.
It's all in the beans. The beans are the age-reversing miracle.
It's almost like the bottom of the Dead Sea, you know? It's the same kind of mineral.
By the way, we put this out on TikTok or Instagram and it catches fire in LA, it will really happen.
Listen, people are eating Tide Pods. Obviously, everyone's a dope.
Yeah, seriously, Perloff, we put like a filter like on the video so that your face looks like super clean.
Yeah.
Like looks like you have incredible skin.
Yeah.
And you just say, I just been using like chili oil. It works like a charm. I guarantee you 20,000 18-year-old girls will jump jump on it.
It's like the AI stuff they used in The Irishman to make Robert De Niro look 20 years younger. We should do that with you. Like, Perloff looks like he's in high school.
I need to look 20 years younger to sell this product? What is going on here? And what were you saying about my skin, Pat? For the
I didn't want to offend you.
What are we going to have?
You have nice skin, Perloff, but you could have incredible skin with the chili oil.
Acid generates my pores.
I'll offend you. We should
20 years, Maggie? That hurt.
I was like, complimenting. I said high school.
What if we booked like Ryan Reynolds to sit in his chair Monday morning? We came back like, look what happened over the weekend.
Chili oil. We'd be millionaires.
That
Oh
would
my
be
God.
the easiest pivot in product history for Skyline Chili.
Honestly, and it'd be weird because I'd be doing the show from his lap, which is odd because that's not normally how I do a show. 855-212. Thank you, Bogusch. 855-212-4CBS. 855-212-4227. Okay, Perloff and I still have some NFL picks to get to. Big game of the weekend. Dallas and the 49ers. We got major college games as well. We'll give our thoughts on what's up this weekend. And Perloff can go finally get the rest of that chili off of his face.
Nah, I'm going to keep it on.
Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff straight ahead.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff. The studio still smells like chili. Perloff put his face in a bowl of Skyline chili, had to eat it with no hands. He did amazing. Really, I mean, I'm so impressed.
There's still like weird bits of chili around my face and hair, but I'll be okay. It does smell like chili still, right? People are not going to like that.
No, I mean, it's definitely smelling like that for you because you have chili in your nose. For me, I still just get a whiff, a little hint of it. If you missed what this may have sounded like earlier this morning, well, here is our shot of the day.
He shoots! He scores!
And the shot of the day is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila is brought to you by those who drink it. And we say a big thank you to everyone at Casamigos for rolling with us into the morning show. It is so appreciated. Here's what it sounded like. Perloff versus a bowl of chili.
Too much cheese.
Orange is the color of Skyline chili on your face. Oh, this is a deeper dive. There is juice cascading off his nose.
Oh,
it's good.
Is it?
Yeah, you want some?
Not now. We have combined the nose picking payoff with now the chili eating payoff. This is getting progressively deeper. Flaunting.
I gotta get to the spaghetti.
Glasses are still fine.
Those glasses are bound to
Now
get
I'm
wet.
gonna do a deep dive. I gotta hold my breath. I'm going for the spaghetti. I need a snorkel.
It was great. We'll be posting a lot of videos and pictures and stuff already up at Maggie and Pearl, at Maggie Gray, at Andrew Perloff. And thank you to everyone for doing a great job there. Wow. Okay. Let's get to...
Good transition off that, Mag.
My head is spinning in a million different directions. Let's get to our NFL picks.
Maggie and Perloff's NFL picks.
I feel like I'm in a chilly daze.
Yeah. It feels like these games are... I don't know. Something's going on with my head right now. It's definitely got chili like deep in my brain right now. It feels like these games are a long way away. I'll go first.
We've got to get our records.
Oh, sorry, you have those. Okay.
That is true. Maggie, you are 5-7. Last week you had the Rams +1, which was a winner. You had the Browns and the Ravens under 39, which was a winner. And you had Justin Jefferson over 6.5 receptions. That was a loser. So 2-1, 5-7. Perloff, you had Jaguars -3 last week. That was a win. You had Cardinals 49ers over 43.5. That was a win. But you had DK Metcalf over 60.5 yards. That was a loss. You went 2-1 as well. You are 7-5. Maggie is 5-7.
All right.
You want to go ahead? This is how we do. Oh, by the way, we should probably tell our new audience how we make our picks, Maggie and Perloff style. You could have caught it there from Pat. 1 against the spread, 1 over/under, 1 player prop. That's how we get to 3. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I have been down on Bill Belichick and the Patriots, but I'm also now down on the New Orleans Saints, who they host this weekend in Foxborough. Pats -1. My logic is simple. Belichick's got to win this game, Maggie. Derek Carr is beat up. If the Patriots don't win this, then the wheels are really off the bus. But I think they rally at home, even without Matthew Judon. I got Pats -1.
Okay, my first pick against the spread. Everybody is fading the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. So that's exactly where I want to be. Nobody believes in the Steelers, maybe rightfully so. They got problems with the offensive line. The offensive coordinator, Kenny Pickett, is banged up. but 4.5 points, according to DraftKings, at home against a division rival like the Ravens. I think this is going to be a tight game, so give me Steelers plus the 4.5. Steelers rise to the occasion facing the Ravens.
Honestly, I do not feel like that's a huge downgrade if Trubisky plays. I know Kenny Pickett. I don't think so. I mean, but you're going to have to play ball control there. Okay, my over-under, simple. Joe Burrow, Bengals at Cardinals. The line is set at 44. Burrow says he feels good. One rule here, Maggie and Perloff, that I broke. Never bet against Joe Burrow. I'm going over 44. And if Joe Burrow can't do it, then my man Josh Dobbs can do it. Going over all day on that one.
Yeah, the reason why Perloff was eating the Skyline chili to begin with is because he thought Joe Burrow would take less money than Justin Herbert. I guess that's never betting against Joe Burrow. For my over-under, give me Denver and the Jets, the Nate Hackett, Sean Payton stare down, whatever this is, under 43.5. I know that the Denver defense stinks, but I don't think that the Jets offense is going to be able to really take full control here. And I do still think that the Jets defense is pretty good, and I think they're going to get to Russell Wilson and pressure Wilson. So I think under 43.5 sounds right.
Russ has this amazing stats. Those are about to fall precipitously. But I could coach the Jets on Sunday. Just throw the ball to Garrett Wilson every play, and maybe you'll be okay. Okay, lastly, we do a prop. Mine is going to be Kirk Cousins over 1.5 touchdowns. The total on this game is 52.5. Now, the Vikings have played pretty good defense last week against Carolina, and Kansas City's defense has been awesome. So I was surprised by that total, but based on that total, I got to go over on Kirk Cousins. I just see, even if they're down, I just see a Justin Jefferson or an Osborne touchdown late.
Yeah, that sounds about right. For me, I'm going to go to a game a lot of people, I think, are circling because they expect a lot of points. Tyreek Hill over 6.5 receptions against the New York Giants. Yeah, I think so.
I got caught with that with DK Metcalf last week against the Giants.
Yeah.
You don't really have to throw against the Giants because you can run all over them.
That's a good point.
I think Tyreek Hill is going to be hungry and he's going to want some points here.
I think so, and I think they're going to feed Hill. So give me Tyreek Hill over 6.5 receptions against the New York Giants, and those are the Maggie and Perloff Week 5 picks. Yes?
Yeah, I love it. Oh, we did the shot of the day. I was trying to cue you to do shot of the day.
You've got chili on the brain.
This is our first week of the morning shows, and I have to be honest, I have not been 100% there at all times, getting used to the hour, but it's been a lot of fun, Maggie.
I think we closed out the week very strong with you eating a bowl of chili with no hands, paying off that bet. I mean, this is what you're going to get here with the Maggie and Perloff morning show. You never know if we're going to be talking about maybe a goat anus or maybe you're going to be eating Skyline chili.
Yeah, is that a morning radio thing where you talk about weird body parts? That
one is not our fault. That was a caller who suggested that we up the ante on these bets. But I think after watching Perloff eat that chili with a poncho on, I think we did just fine enough. I think we did great.
No, it'd be great. Come in Monday morning. I want my Kentucky Wildcats to upset Georgia. I know they're 2 touchdown underdogs.
Yep.
But that would be a great story. I'm all in on the Wildcats this weekend. Any game you're excited for?
I am definitely excited for Texas, Oklahoma. I love that.
Yep.
A little Red River, give that to me, and a little Alabama, Texas A&M.
Yeah. And then the Nate Hacker Bowl is going to be classic. It could be the ugliest game ever. I can't wait.
Thank you so much to Pat Boyle, to Pete Pilati, to Andrew Kaplan, Andrew Bogusch. Wow. It's been a hell of a first week. Thank you guys so much. To the Weedos, the purple drinkers turned coffee drinkers, the callers. Thanks for coming with us over to mornings. A lot more fun times ahead, y'all. Have a good weekend.
It's been good.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.